What's going on, everybody? Okay, so we're doing something different today because I want to say it was last week I learned of this very interesting person on YouTube, and that is Boogie2988. I've watched some stuff and woof. So I kind of wanted to watch something, give my genuine reactions, and see where it goes, I guess. So this is a comprehensive documentary on Boogie2988. His name is Stephen J. Williams, done by Alchemist Alcor. So shout out to them for putting this together. We are going to speed it up a wee bit, just since it is an hour and 40 minutes. Whoa, okay. But yeah, so it's spinning because it just starts right off. So let's just get into it then, and we'll go from there.
Kiss my entire giant fat ass! You're the fat ass! No, you're the fat ass! You're the fat ass!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at
All
you
right, all right. Stop. I mean, I know there are people like this in the world, but I think... What? Okay. All right.
Through the power of the internet.
Why do you have a camera?
Because I wanted to get this on film.
I'm not gonna talk to you if you have a camera. Look, it's cool, but are you sure? Oh, okay. Well, it's not for me. Then
I'm guessing these are bits, right? Or like, they have to be.
nobody can have it. How about that?
This is a video I promised myself I would make 10 years ago when my mom died.
It is needless to say that not all villains are born, but rather some are made, and the most tragic of them all are the fallen heroes, individuals whose work and ethics elevated them above the masses, making them a shining example of something greater. However,
So are we... I guess I don't understand. We're saying Boogie's a hero? Or... Okay, okay.
after a tragic event or prolonged period of degradation, they eventually become the thing they were fighting against, and now their very existence is a mockery to everything they stood for during their time of heroism. It is a tale.
So, just what I'm getting right now, I mean, he seems like a fun, like he has a fun, outgoing personality, which you would think would be great for a platform like YouTube, or I think he does Twitch, maybe. I mean, I feel like wouldn't that just be a great way to... I mean, I don't know, maybe it's all just smoke and mirrors.
As old as time, and while aspects of the story change from person to person, the vicious cycle of rise and eventual fall is still very much the same. These stories can be found in many real-life examples, whether it be in people...
Holy Mountain Dew. Yo. That makes my teeth hurt.
we know, or in people we thought we knew. Although tragic, these stories at least now serve as a warning to anyone who is in the spotlight. It is completely subjective whether you think Boogie2988 falls into this category or not. One of the older creators who had a significant impact on this platform. You might remember him as a kind gentleman who always wanted to do the right thing and give other people support, even when life...
Well, I mean, that's good. I'm guessing he's still not this person. Again, I don't know a whole lot about Boogie. From what I have watched. Don't know.
Life didn't treat him all that well. However, no one can deny that the end of the road for this YouTuber is probably around the corner. Once regarded as the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, mentioning Boogie now...
Mr. Rogers of YouTube? What does that even mean?
in any serious debate feels like breathing in a lethal amount of poison. His reputation has deteriorated to a point where many say there isn't much he could do to sink even lower. The rock bottom is truly here, and unfortunately it is here to stay. The story of Boogie2988 is the story of a man who couldn't escape the shadow of his past. It is a story of sorrow and inspiration.
Oh. I mean, a lot of people can't escape their past. I think I think a lot of people have that issue. It's just, that's what therapy's for, I guess. I mean, you really gotta talk stuff out. And if therapy's not for you, then, I mean, Google is such a great platform to look up stuff to what can I do to help if I don't want to go to therapy? Try that. I don't know.
Of gluttony and desire, and sadly, of his inevitable undoing. Turn back now or join me in this subjective look at one of the oldest creators on this platform.
Oldest is in has been.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? As you can tell from the title of this video, this is not going to be a laugh fest.
Age-wise.
Boogie2988, or Boogie for short, is an internet nickname for a man called Stephen J. Williams. Stephen was born on July 24th, 1974 in a small Virginian town of St. Paul, and as we all
Virginia. Oh, I was thinking Minnesota. Goes to show, there's my Midwest.
know, his childhood wasn't something we would consider normal. His father was an alcoholic and his mother abused him and his two siblings, sometimes to very extreme degrees.
I was abused.
I know we can't tell people they can't have children, but some people shouldn't have children. That's
Not once a month. Not once a week, but physically every day. Sometimes with a small gap in between of a day.
I mean, okay, so just looking at Boogie's physical appearance, you can already see what the past did and how I got hair. And how he coped with that. So I wonder if or maybe we're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I wonder if he's always been a larger person. Or if, because of his past, if that's, I don't know. I mean, I know it's no excuse. I mean, I'm a larger person, yes, I understand. I have no room to, Boogie's fat. No, that's not what I'm getting at. But food is can be a coping instrument. So I'd wonder if, because of the abuse, if, food was his go-to as, a safe place.
I was cut. I was burnt with cigarettes. I was stabbed. I was thrown. I was picked up and thrown. Steve.
Again, some people shouldn't have children.
I've been sitting here thinking about that stuff. So many stories I want to tell, and even now I'm ashamed to tell them.
You shouldn't be ashamed of what your parents chose to do as parents. I'm just saying. Whether that be Boogie or anybody else in a situation like this, if you are being abused by a parent, that is not on you.
Born into such an abusive home, Steven suffered an absorbent amount of physical and mental torture. He always talked a lot about his mother in particular, with most of the tragic stories from his early childhood being perpetrated by her, while his father, a coal miner, was always at work. Steven recalled one time when
a coal miner. Wow.
His mother broke his brother's nose because she caught him drinking. While his sister hated home so much, she tried many times to run away, to the point where their mother gave up on her and just handed her away to foster care.
My sister continually ran away. She ran away at the age of 11, the age of 12. She had a family member trying to adopt her. Eventually, mom just turned her over to foster care to the child.
Did law enforcement and CPS not see this as hey, maybe we should check in? I guess I don't know how it is in Virginia, for one, if that's where he grew up. And in the time of when he was growing up, obviously he looks like an older gentleman, so it probably isn't the same as it was now. People probably didn't care, but Jesus. You run away so much that you're like, all right, fine, goodbye, go live with somebody else. What?
child services and just let her go. And that left me alone in the home, and it just kind of went downhill from there.
But it was also in that abusive environment that Steven found an attraction for video games, where he and his brother would attend local arcade to take their minds off the depressing reality they had to face at home. Pac-Man in particular stuck out to Steven, saying it was one of the biggest joys in his life during this period. After some time, his brother also left home because he enrolled in college.
I mean, Pac-Man's a pretty good game.
Leaving Steven alone in a home that seemed to show no signs of stopping the mistreatment. Unfortunately, things only got worse from here. As if being subjugated to a psychological abuse wasn't enough, his mother also fed Steven only junk food, which caused him to gain excessive.
So, not only was mentally, physically, but then he's just fed crap. That's already starting bad eating habits. Oh my gosh.
Amounts of weight. He was also never taught about the importance of dental hygiene, meaning he didn't brush his teeth that often, which eventually resulted in Boogie being in a lot of pain due to the rotting teeth he had in his mouth. Being morbidly obese at such a young age caused him to get bullied by his high school peers.
Okay, so he's been morbidly obese for a while then. Well, I mean, if your mom's feeding you junk... God.
Adding to the strain on his mental state. But high school wasn't all bad. One teacher in particular that Steven called as Miss Wall encouraged him to start reading, and here he found his appreciation for many writers like Stephen King and Douglas Adams. Eventually his
Stephen King is a great author. Just throwing that out there.
father's alcoholism caught up with him to a point in which he got a stroke that permanently damaged his brain, making him an invalid for the rest of his life. This event awoke something dark in Steven's mother, making her abuse more extensive. She once almost beat Steven to death, while on the other occasion where she scratched him while driving, Steven would, out of fear for his life, jump out of a running car onto the road.
Are you kidding me?
Whip the car around and start driving to a bank. She's like, now I'm going to be late for work. And she begins to, while driving her car, speeding down the road, clawing at my face. And I remember she caught my left eye just briefly, scratching the cornea a tiny little bit. My brain just took over. That PTSD, that fight or flight just took over. And we were doing 30 miles
Yeah, not really PTSD, but fight or flight, yes.
an hour, but I just opened the door to the car and I got out.
This last situation was especially depressing when you consider
You jumped out of a moving vehicle to get away from your mom. Oh my god.
that his teachers and fellow students all saw this take place and still did nothing after such a bizarre event to help Steven escape his toxic environment. The most insane thing in all of this must be the fact that his mother was a preschool teacher, and by the story
Your mom worked with children and this is how oh. To any of the people out there that had this man's mother as their teacher, I'm so sorry.
she took good care of the kids under her supervision while being respectful toward their parents.
That's great.
You could say that life sometimes has a really sick sense of humor. Speaking of life, it would continue like this for a long time, leaving even more depressing stories in its wake, like the time Steven was trying to take care of a cat that his mom injured, only to find it dead on the floor when he came back from school one day.
Throw the whole mom away. Throw her away. I'm sorry. I can be nice to a point, but throw the whole mom away. Just throw the whole mom away.
Things would finally get better for Steven when he joined Upward Bound, an educational program where his life seemed to be getting the relief it desperately needed. Through this program, he would meet a lot of new people who were not inclined to mock Steven, but rather to get to know him. It seemed like Steven had found some genuine friends with whom he could play board and card games.
There's people out there for everybody. No matter what your hobbies, no matter what your interests, there is a group of people for everybody. Or maybe it's just one person. There is someone for everyone, for everything. I'm glad he at least had friends after all this.
It was also in that program that he would meet his first girlfriend. This new situation finally created a ray of light in Steven's dark world. It seemed like this period was probably one of the few good memories he had from his childhood, but eventually he finished high school and then went on to enroll in college. A few months before leaving home for the upcoming semester, his mother would hit him for the last time, where Steven would also stand up for himself after decades of abuse.
Good.
And I realized that I had maybe 150 pounds on this already very large woman, and I stood almost a foot taller than her. And I grabbed her hands and I said, Mom, I think we're done with this. I don't think you get to hit me anymore.
Good.
And she says, when you let go of my hands, I can't believe you're hurting me. I can't believe you're hurting me. I'm sorry, I'm hurting you, but we're just not going to do this anymore. You're not going to hurt me anymore. And she says, when you let go of my hands, I am going to kill you. And I'm like, and that may very well be the case, but you're not going to hit me.
In college, he
Good job. Because,
Would find new friends and his life seemed to be getting better. Unfortunately, you could remove Steven from an abusive home, but it seemed you couldn't remove an abusive home from Steven, as he was left with huge baggage from his past in the form of psychological problems as well as morbid obesity. Add to this a tragic breakup with his then girlfriend, the same one he met in high school upward bound program, and you can see how the problems were bound to arise. Steven would never finish college, but instead of returning home, he relocated to Fayetteville, Arkansas to live with his brother. However, his brother was married at the time, and he didn't get quite along with his wife. Steven's presence definitely made the situation more awkward.
So he moved in with his brother, but didn't get along with his sister-in-law? Okay.
So he decided to leave
Can't relate.
after only 6 months, but with nowhere else to go, he was, during this period, practically homeless, sleeping mostly on couches in university lounges or anywhere else that was comfortable.
You can just go sleep in university lounges? I'm gonna say don't do that.
Enough for him to spend the night.
So sometimes I would sleep in a TV lounge here at this dorm or a different dorm if I couldn't get into Chad's room. If I couldn't get into the dorm, I would sneak into a faculty building, a computer lab. I'd stay on the computers all night and just not sleep that night. Sometimes I'd fall asleep on a couch or a chair in those computer labs.
In college campuses, can you just access anything from computer labs? I suppose it doesn't need to be censored like it would in I don't know. I had my own laptop when I was in college, so I don't really know.
I just did whatever it took to stay warm, stay alive.
He also had to forage for food from time to time while trying to keep with any other necessities to stay alive. His friend Chad, taking pity on his situation, gave him a place to stay in his dorm room where he had an extra bed for the semester.
Well,
Steven attempted to earn some money by applying for various jobs, but there were only so many job opportunities for a man weighing around 200 kilograms at the time.
What is that? Sorry, I'm American. I don't know what that equals. Okay, Google. Excuse you. 200 kilograms. 2 pounds. 440 pounds. Wow.
This meant that the few jobs he managed to get paid only a minimum wage. Despite his terrible financial situation, Steven did start to save money as well as sell some of his personal belongings. Thanks to this, he managed to pay for his own apartment, where he moved with his other friend Eric, whom he met while playing Magic the Gathering, which was his most favorite card game. The apartment at first had literally no furniture except the mattresses that the landlord left as a part of a deal, but with even more dedication than...
I don't know if I just want to sleep on some random mattress, but I guess if you don't have any other option... I do what you gotta do.
Managed to fill up the apartment with all the necessities. Being good with computers, Steven started to teach himself HTML at the local college so that he could design websites. This skill set ended up being a great asset.
Why didn't he stick with this? The computers were the future, Boogie.
Because he eventually even managed to get some clients who paid very well for his services. Finally, the money started to come in, meaning Steven's financial situation improved remarkably, enough that he could indulge in his hobbies rather than just trying to stay alive. He gained even more friends, with all of whom he started to share his love of Magic the Gathering. As far as
this is one game I do not understand. I don't get it.
Was concerned, life was getting significantly better. Regrettably, as the time passed, designing websites became less and less profitable. This was primarily due to the fact that people outside of the US would also begin to design websites, but for much less money and time. Steven...
Yeah, when you get people from outside of the country that can do things and they'll do them cheaper, of course people are going to do that, even though... Oh, but they're stealing our job. Yeah, okay. No, they're not. Because, anyways, I digress.
Steven just couldn't keep up with this new trend, with him now working around 8 to 16 hours a day, with significantly less money coming in from his clients.
Eventually, the same website I would design over the course of a week, people outside of the country, once the rest of the world got on the internet, people outside of the country would design the exact same website using templates in half the time I would, and they charge $25 for it. So that's what I started having to do.
What is the quality of these websites, though? Like, okay.
Went from making $500 a job to $200 a job to $100 a job to $50 a job, and I went from working 4 to 8 hours a day to working 8 to 16 hours a day.
The situation has become so bad that he was once again approaching the poverty line, where the income was barely enough for him to pay his bills and keep him afloat. We must also consider the fact that his eating habits were unfortunately still following him from St. Paul, because he still consumed massive amounts of calories on a daily basis, to a point where he reached a mind-boggling 250 kilograms.
Okay, so what's I would assume just add 50 pounds to this? Can't we just, America, why couldn't we have learned how to do this? No. I want kilograms. 2 pounds. 551 pounds. Holy cats, Batman.
Largest he ever was. Add to this his new depression that was caused by overworking, and it is easy to see that food was much more than just means to survive.
Did they say depression due to overworking or not working?
The poverty line, where the income was barely enough for him to pay his bills and keep him afloat. 50 kilograms, the largest he ever was. Add to this his new depression that was caused by overworking, and it is easy to see that food was much more than just means to survive for Steven. Food was a coping mechanism. Eventually, even his web design business failed entirely, which led him to get a part-time job at a local gaming store called the Gallery of
Well, you would think even though you had a successful... Okay, I guess not.
Champions to try to fix his...
Maybe even have a full-time job. Why wouldn't designing websites be such kind of more of like an inconsistent type of income that you would maybe want to have a part-time job to have a steady income? But I know nothing about computers or programming or anything, so don't listen to me.
Finances. Even the store would eventually fall on hard times, which meant that Steven couldn't be paid. But he absolutely loved working there, mostly because of the people he met and because of his love of card games, so he offered to work there on some occasions for absolutely free. Nevertheless,
why? I get doing something because you love it, but don't do it for free.
This was still a horrible situation in which Steven had no way of sustaining himself in what could be considered...
At this point, I'm kind of getting that Steven's just a really nice guy that is also doesn't have a backbone.
One of the worst parts of his life, Steven would borrow money any way he could, as well as apply for disability benefits. This was due to the fact that his weight has become such a problem for him that he was barely mobile.
Did he just say he applied for disability because he was so overweight?
His mental state has become so bad that, in his own words, he was eating so much that he was hoping that food would put him in an early grave. Not to mention that his father also died of cancer around this time. All of this also had a terrible impact on his physical health, which was never good to begin with when you consider that Steven nearly died at the age of 25 because of lymphedema infection in his leg.
That's a lot, man. Obviously, food is an issue. Well, I mean, if he was fed junk, he was never taught good, healthy food habits, so I get it, but holy cow. You'd think some of his friends would maybe step in and be like, hey, let's stop this.
But what they didn't realize is that I had a condition called lymphedema, which is causing this porous material to appear in my legs, and that porous material was eventually getting infected, and it was almost impossible to fight the infection in it. So over the course of 3 or 4 months, I ended up getting this infection that rotted the flesh, actually necrotized the flesh. And they originally wanted to amputate the leg. There was that.
What? Oh my gosh.
The infection was so bad. But first they had to beat the infection that was in my heart. So they ran a PICC line directly to my heart, and they pumped one of the strongest antibiotics known to man directly into my heart to try to keep me alive. And they succeeded. And then slowly and surely over the next 6.5 months, they managed to heal that leg.
As you might...
I can't imagine. That, for me, would be such an eye-opening life experience that I would do a full 180 on my life.
Expect binge eating and playing World of Warcraft non-stop did not help this situation. This is the time when Steven would spend his life as a shut-in for almost 7 years. But no matter how bad...
A shut-in for almost 7 years? Oh my goodness.
Things were. This was also the beginning of something great, because on April 6th, 2006, Steven launched his YouTube channel under the name
April 6th of 2006? I was 12 years old.
Boogie2988.
So Boogie's been around since 2006.
Boogie would start to post videos on this newly created platform so that he could give himself something to kill the time.
Hell?
The first of his videos mostly consisted of him acting foolish in front of a camera, while at the same time using his weight as...
Okay, that was all of YouTube when YouTube started. It was just acting foolish, saying stupid stuff, and saying and doing stupid things that would get you in trouble nowadays, but at the time was what was okay.
As a central theme. Early YouTube, being what it was, seemed to like this type of behavior, which gave him some attention as he slowly started to gain views and subscribers. YouTube gave Boogie a new meaning in life, but there seemed to be a trend in Steven's life at that point,
that's good,
which is that a good thing must always be followed by a very bad one. In October of 2009, Boogie's mother got really sick and would eventually pass away. The impact was
that hurt his feelings, I would think that would probably make him happy.
It was devastating for him, something
What?
he showed a lot in his videos, where he would recall his mother on a few occasions.
I haven't talked a lot about my mom. There's video footage of her up here on this channel. Some people have made fun of her. Some people have said she seems really sweet. Some people know some of the backstory about her.
Some people think she's really sweet.
And I'd like to share some of that with you now.
One of the notable moments was when he was near her deathbed, where she apologized to Steven for ruining his life.
And then she looked up at me with this look in her eyes that I'll never forget, and she says, "I'm sorry." And I said, "For what?" And she said, "I ruined your life."
Well, now I feel bad for roasting her, but frick. I don't know if... Oh. I don't know if just because someone's dying, I'd be able to accept an apology like that. But my mom hasn't ruined my life, so I guess I can't relate.
And I said, "No, Mom, no, I like who I am."
You what?
Don't you like who I am?
It is clear that he wanted to remember his mother for all the good things she has done while attempting to forget all the bad. This loss was so great for Boogie that he even contemplated suicide, but in the end he decided to stay and fight because of his friends. And while this was a tragic period in his life, it didn't
I'm glad Boogie had friends.
stop him from posting videos, making even more personal vlogs that attracted even more people, and he would eventually hit the jackpot with his made-up character, which he named Francis.
It's me, Francis, again, and I am really pissed off. 2009, if you weren't aware, was a shitty year for gaming. Pretty much up until last month, okay?
What kind of games were out in 2009? I wasn't playing games in 2009, really. Maybe I was playing Guitar Hero.
I was stuck playing World of fucking Warcraft
I was not playing World of Warcraft.
every fucking day because there were no other games to play.
Francis was a big part of his YouTube channel in the early days. In these videos, Boogie was acting as a stereotypical gamer who overreacted to every inconvenience thrown his way. On some occasions, he would also break stuff around him in a hilarious fit of rage. An overweight man acting idiotic
What the heck?
in a video skit seemed to draw a lot of people, to the point where one particular video in this format called Francis Gets His Warcraft Account Hacked would be an absolute banger and would catapult Boogie's status on YouTube to new heights.
I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off.
Just, this reminds me of like that Big Bang Theory episode when Sheldon's whatever gets hacked. Was it Warcraft? I don't even know.
Fucking authenticator! You fucking authenticator! I have one! You son of a bitch! You did it! Fucking hell! God.
The reason why is because in 2010, an extremely popular YouTuber at the time called Ray William Johnson featured that video on his show Equals 3, directing tens of thousands of people to Boogie's channel.
When I first found this last video, I thought I had struck gold. Now the video itself is about this
Why does he go from like middle of the screen over here? What is this?
guy, Francis. And Francis loves playing World of Warcraft. But unfortunately for him, his account was hacked, and he's a tad bit upset about it.
Sorry, I've been crying a little bit tonight. I'm just really upset. I don't...
Alright, Francis, calm down.
Oh my gosh. People really rage like this? I just quit.
I'm sure your World of Warcraft account was getting you laid left and right.
But even though people came to his channel for his silly skits and Francis acts, they stayed for more personal vlog videos where Boogie just talked about himself or life in general. From the very beginning, he was always open about his upbringing, sharing his experiences of what it is to grow up in an abusive home. It is here that he also shared advice and support with his many viewers. Many people
Like advice and support for like other people that are in abusive homes, I'm guessing.
believe that the image of who Boogie was is the main reason he rose to fame in such a short period of time. At the core of his persona is a damaged man who is trying to be the best person he can be, despite the trauma from the past that is still haunting him. So naturally, people flock to his side in massive numbers to offer their support. And how could they not? With such a tragic backstory, you couldn't help but feel pity for the man.
This
But
is
as
true.
it is always the
Everybody kind of loves a pity story. I'm not saying this is a pity story, but sometimes those stories just get people, whether they're true or not. I'm not saying this isn't true, I'm just like in general.
case, fame brought with it a slew of trolls who were primarily interested in mocking Boogie's appearance, a common practice that, sadly, always comes with popularity. The main problem here is that Boogie gave those people much more attention than he should have, because
Yep. He fed the trolls.
he made multiple videos on the subject which showed a certain amount of insecurity when faced with mockery or criticism.
I just want to start off by saying, you don't know me,
And the 30 seconds of video that you think you saw, it doesn't give you the chance or the opportunity to get to know me. And so
he should have left it right there, because that is such a thing that even now, in today's world, we need to understand that we don't know these internet content creators just because of what they put online.
when you see me, what do you see? You see a big guy? You see someone 4 times as large as you'll ever be in your life, and you think how stupid he must be, how worthless, how ignorant, how sad. Well, you don't know me. You're never going to know me. You're only going to know what I put inside these little boxes, inside these little videos, and make you think, and make you wonder, and make you question what you're viewing.
His unhealthy obsession with his detractors would follow him to the present day, and it is possible that that was the catalyst that would eventually
It is. His first mistake was addressing it anyways.
lead him to his current situation. But as the time would go by, Boogie would start to make money through AdSense, something that came as a godsend for someone in his situation, because the opportunity to make money doing what you love is not something that everyone just gets to do. The years would go by like this for a while, with Boogie still making videos about games and of course Magic the Gathering. But it was his personal vlogs that attracted the attention of a particular fan who saw Boogie as an inspiration because of her own tragic life situation. When they began talking, it was soon discovered that they had a lot of things in common, and because of that they took a great liking to each other. But the physical
Boogie got a girlfriend?
distance between them was just too great, so they started an online relationship at first. Eventually, she did move out to Arkansas so they could live together. Her name was Desiree, known to us as Des, and Boogie immediately knew that
She's a smoke. Whoa.
was the one. Des would encourage him to get
That has nothing against Boogie, but wow, she was pretty.
better at life as well as YouTube, pushing him to do more physical activities to help with his weight, and also taking on the role of Francis' sister in Boogie's famous skits.
Here, I'm sorry, okay?
Why would you have your girlfriend be your sister?
Princess, that's like $1.80.
I don't know, it's like a fucking down payment, okay? I don't know what you
$1.86 is a down payment.
expect me. I don't have a fucking job, okay? I'm a YouTube check agent here, I don't have any money.
Okay, well then I'm taking your iPad.
No, don't take my fucking
No, I'm
iPad.
taking
No,
your iPad
god
then.
damn it.
Obviously, you can't be trusted with it.
I'll give you the money, just give me back my fucking iPad. I want to beat the, give it, take your fucking money. I want to beat the level, let me beat the level.
Because of Boogie's size, she didn't
I wanna beat the level! Let me beat the level!
work at first, but would look after him for the time being, meaning that Boogie was the main income provider for the household. Nevertheless, she seemed to have a very positive influence on him, something
Well,
Boogie
good.
realized himself. So after less than 2 years since the start of the relationship, he would pop the question.
And not only have I become happier,
Aww.
I've actually become happy. The kind of happy that when I wake up in the morning,
Not only have I become happier, but I've become happy. Okay.
I'm glad to face the day, and when I go to bed at night, I'm kind of sad because the day is over. But not only that, you've given me the possibility, the future of creating a family of my own. Something we've been working on together for the past 2 years. Something I dreamt about as a child. Something that not only did I need, but something that I wanted. Someone to be with, to love, to cherish, to have, and to hold.
I don't, Boogie, I don't.
Etc., etc. So that's why I wanted to, that's why I wanted to make it official. So I got you this.
Did he just propose on a YouTube video? I mean, bloody brilliant ring, buddy, but holy shit. Do this in person. Take her to a nice dinner or something.
And, Des, I'm asking you to marry me.
On my YouTube video. That's going up on my channel. For millions to see. No pressure.
Will you marry me?
No.
In 2013, the wedding would take place, and I still remember this montage as if it were yesterday. To be honest, when Boogie was getting married, I felt like I was getting married, which makes this video even harder to make. It is somehow uplifting to watch these older clips of Boogie being the best version of himself. For a time, it seemed that with all the hardships thrown his way,
Okay, but they cute.
as well as his horrible upbringing, Boogie somehow made it to the top by not only having a loving wife, but also having a job many people could only dream of.
Is this when, like, this originated? Why am I not surprised that Boogie is the Hulk? That's cute. That's actually really cute. And I like that she's interested, or she appreciates his interests. The rise of Boogie2988.
Whenever there was a need for a large amount of funds, Francis' video would do the job, with skits like Where's My Goddamn Mountain Dew currently sitting at 24 million views.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find my goddamn Mountain Dew. Yeah, did you drink my Mountain Dew? Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath. Let me smell your breath.
Fat Guy Destroys
Oh my god, Buggy. Get out of my face.
Xbox has 12 million views. And even less known Francis skits that Boogie recorded in his own room, like this one called Francis Hates Google+, which currently sits at
1.4 million views. Oh my god.
1.4 million views.
And you added ASCII art? Yeah, people are drawing pictures of dicks! People are putting up pictures of dicks! Jesus Christ! LOL! Big fat dick! Are you kidding me? Oh, my comment section is dick, 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 cock, dick, 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 cock, dick, dick!
Alright, I get it. Phallic objects are not Boogie's thing.
What the fuck, YouTube?
On the other hand, if he wanted to make a serious video, he could make one in the form of a vlog, where he discussed various subjects, even including topics like depression, loneliness, and even suicide. Viewers always appreciated Boogie for his mature approach to the subject and for being a support pillar for many people.
To a video created by a fellow YouTuber by the name of Matthew Santoro. And Matthew put up a video last week, then immediately took it down, called My Abuse Story. I watched a re-upload
It's so sad that abuse stories are so common.
of the video, and then I reached out to Matt and said that that video made me feel a lot better about some of the things that happened to me, and because I had done that and many other people had done that, Matthew decided to put that video up again.
It is also here that he gained his level-headed reputation, because he would never take
Okay, there's some things in Boogie that I can see why he would be referred to as the Mr. Rogers of YouTube. He just seems like a nice dude. And I wish he kind of would have stayed nice like this.
sides in any debate, but would always approach it from a centrist viewpoint. With all of this attention, it seemed reasonable that Boogie would eventually hit 1 million subscribers, and in 2013 he did just that, setting him to new heights of popularity.
Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet, making a video.
He got a good radio voice. He could do radio or like even like sporting announcements.
I never thought I would make, and that's a video celebrating my million subscriber landmark.
His status would extend outside of YouTube, since he also showed up in commercials and, most importantly, in a documentary series called Super Size vs. Super Skinny, where Dr. Christian is trying to help people with weight problems by fixing their eating habits. This is
I'm guessing that didn't work, and that's not a good
especially
place to
significant
pause.
because Boogie has been struggling with his own weight for quite some time now, as you might expect, weighing around 230 kilograms.
I can't math
would
this
result in a
one.
lot of discomfort for pretty much
I'm
anyone.
guessing
Many people
500
at the time
pounds.
actually believed that Boogie promoted obesity, owing to his most popular videos in which he expressed his weight in a comedic manner. However, if they
I don't understand this thing now of just because people that are overweight or even underweight and super skinny are online, that they are promoting that. They are existing. Okay? They're existing.
saw any of his personal videos, they would see that anything but was the case. From the beginning, Boogie would encourage people to not let their eating habits ruin their lives like he did his. He said many times that he's
Good
very
job,
worried about his
Boogie.
weight and what side effects it might bring. For quite some time now, he was also trying to lose it in any way he could. With a size like his, any real exercise was out of the question and dieting seemed to be the only option. Unfortunately, with food being such a big part of Boogie's life, he would always make no progress, or when he did make progress, he would always gain back
Well, it's maybe because you got this 2-liter of Mountain Dew chilling here.
any weight he managed to lose. All of this just showed how much he was still struggling with his demons from the past. Being left with what seemed to be like no options, he eventually decided to go for a gastric bypass surgery, which would drastically shrink his stomach so he would not be
Okay, so... Oh, so they cut your stomach and then... So you're bypassing most of the stomach and just basically going right into the intestines. Okay.
physically able to eat. However, the surgery was still in planning at this point, and it is not something one can do on a whim, and
No.
Boogie's thoughts were probably redirected
I will say, back in 2018, I was going to do gastric sleeve surgery, but I had no problems losing the weight. I couldn't get past the mental evaluation, like the psychological evaluation. So I never ended up doing it. If Boogie gets the surgery, I'm very interested in how he was able to do so and pass a mental evaluation if he's been kind of like this. You know what I'm saying?
At the first larger controversy he was involved in during his time on YouTube.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. I haven't done one of these vlogging, rambling series videos in a while. It's my vlogging series.
Again, you got a great voice for radio.
I like to call it my rambling series.
2014 would see Boogie reach 2 million subscribers, adding
2
to his
million.
incredible rise. But because of his high status, he was dragged into the internet drama whether he wanted to or not, as this was also the year Gamergate first appeared. In case you don't know, Gamergate was an online movement dedicated to preserving ethics in video game journalism. Due to the actions of some members of the movement, it's often linked to misogyny within the gaming community. Gamergate
Some recent things I've seen on Twitter, yes, there is misogyny in the gaming sphere, and that's a problem. Big problem. Video games were not designed just for men. It is not a man's space.
itself was created after a scandal involving a certain game developer called Zoe Quinn. Supposedly, she had a relationship with multiple gaming journalists, where the said journalists gave positive reviews of her game. The movement was also targeting media critic and feminist Anita Sarkeesian, a very controversial figure who gained fame for her video series Damsels in Distress, in which she tried to expose sexism and misogyny in video games by pointing out their design choices, gameplay features, and story elements. To many, this series was extremely misleading, citing the deceptive use of clips and sometimes fabricated gaming elements to push some kind of agenda. This led to many.
Okay, so it was a relatively good idea, just poorly executed. Gotcha.
Many gamers starting a harass campaign against her, and some even sent death threats, which created yet another
Why are we sending people death threats? I don't
group of
understand.
people defending Anita, and by this point everything had devolved into an absolute shit show. With everyone blaming and insulting each other, any real or genuine discussion on the topic was drowned out by all the noise. Gamergate is too large to cover in a few minutes, but you get the idea. With such a huge storm on the sea, Boogie had to, at some point, share his opinion on the subject. In his video about the topic, he sided with neither group, trying to keep his position as a moderator. You would think that choosing neither side would save him from any backlash, but a short time after the said video, Boogie's personal information got leaked online by one of Anita's.
So he doesn't side either way, but his personal information was leaked. What the fuck is wrong with the world?
Reporters for supposedly helping encourage idiots to harass women. But that wasn't the only thing, as all kinds of criticisms were being hurled at Boogie for his indifference on the subject. He did try to mend the flames with a few more videos, but it didn't seem to work. The Gamergate drama created a horrible situation for Boogie, but due to how controversial the topic is, he would have gotten hate no matter what he did, so there isn't much he could do to escape some kind of backlash. But not even this controversy was enough to grace his new empire, something that is apparent when you consider that in 2015, Boogie bought a house for him and his wife to live in. When you remember
I suppose you have 2 million followers. Buy yourself a house, man. Getting that gamer money, or not gamer, you're getting that YouTube money now.
that Boogie was homeless 10 years ago in the same city where he just bought a house, we can say that this is an incredible example of financial turnaround.
That is
Everything
very
one could hope for
incredible.
was within his grasp. A loving wife, a house, and an amazing support structure from his YouTube audience. The only thing that seemed to still be a constant problem was his weight, something he still could fix, despite numerous videos in which he explained how he was attempting to lose it. The main issue was still that the diet did eventually work, but Boogie's eating habits would soon catch up with him and he would regain all the weight he had lost, or even go above it in some cases. Since the termination
There's also a thing with the surgery. Just because you get it doesn't mean you can't gain it back. So, again, I go back to, because it all comes down to that psychological evaluation, and I don't know how he did it.
alone was not enough after all these years, gastric bypass surgery was now a real option since he saw it as the only chance to lose weight once and for all. But to undergo this kind of medical procedure, the patient must undergo a strict diet to lose a specific amount of body mass before the surgery.
Yeah, I think it's like 10% of your weight. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's 10%. Hey, Google. Yeah, okay. So the amount of weight you need to lose before weight loss surgery depends on your weight, insurance requirements, and procedures. Some patients may need to lose 5 to 10% of their body weight, while others may need to lose 15 to 20 pounds. Okay.
Surgery. The main purpose of this is to reduce body fat in the abdominal region, especially in and around the liver, and this is what Boogie committed to doing to finally defeat his demon. Until then, Boogie was still growing his business, gaining even more connections with other members of the community, and even winning the Trending Gamer Award at the 2016's VGAs. Although I'm not sure how you would see this as a success, since VGA is pretty much just a collection of horrible jokes, the biggest joke of them all being the show itself.
Hydrobot, at it
What
again.
the hell?
Enjoy the rest of the Game Awards, everyone. We gotta go. Hydrobot is gonna school me on how to protect my skin from irritation.
Well, that right there is why we do the show, folks.
Picture this, I'm a bag of
That
dicks,
was-
to your lip.
That was gross.
I will punch a baby bear, take a shit.
What is this?
Nevertheless, any positive feedback is always greatly appreciated if you ask me. On top of that, as we reach 2017, Boogie's channel has reached a mind-boggling 4 million subscribers. Unfortunately, the streak of good fortune would not last long because another controversy would soon
Well, at least
rear
there's
its
a
head.
diet
Boogie
Mountain
would be on an
Dew.
anti-bullying panel with our old friend Anita Sarkeesian at VidCon that same year. After a long session, Boogie would end the panel with his
Hey, I know this girl. She has that like Timmy Turner type voice.
closing speech.
I practiced this one for weeks, okay. I think sometimes because we do talk about certain subsets of people, specifically people without privilege, some people can get the misconception that only those groups are targeted. And I say this as the only male on this panel, and I say this as a white cis male, a person who's in a place of privilege, that
He's kind of rambly.
I understand that some communities have it worse, and I don't say this to dismiss anyone else's pain or to say that I have it worse because I genuinely don't believe that I do. I just want to say that if it can happen to me and I'm coming from a place of privilege, I think this can happen to anybody. It can happen to any of you who choose to create tomorrow. And I
That's a very valid point.
think when we get that misconception, I think that we have naysayers. Well, it's not worse for women. It's not worse for people of color. I think when we focus it on a human rights issue, not a woman's issue, not a man's issue, not a gay or straight issue, or a fat person or skinny person's issue, but it's a human rights issue that affects us
All of these women look like they just want to be like, all right, shut up so we can get off the stage.
all, at least in some way. I feel we can unite these subsets and these groups and these different people, and I think we can fight it together. And when we do that, I think that's how we actually could potentially end cyberbullying. But we have to end, I think, this squabble between each group before we can do that. And that's, I don't know.
Very valid point. It's not a... The bullying happens to everybody, so... There's... Okay, that was a very...
For some reason, this speech agitated Anita to the point where she confronted Boogie right after the event to throw a finger in his face and give him
Oh, is this Anita? Yeah, she looks kind of irritated.
a piece of her mind. His reaction to this situation and the video he made garnered a lot more hatred than you would think. Boogie's audience lost respect for him as a result for his indifference to Anita, who attacked him first, and his failure to defend himself in any real manner.
A couple more panelists had their closing arguments, and then we left the stage, and I'm shaking, very, very nervous, but I felt like it went well. And when I get off of the stage at the bottom of the panels, there's Anita, and she seemed to be very, very upset. And I don't remember exactly what she said. I'm paraphrasing here, but she said in a very upset that I think it was very fucking
That was a great speech.
cool that you said what you said there at the end, knowing that no one else would have enough time to respond. And I bet you can imagine how that affected my anxiety, because the exact focal point of my anxiety for the entire weekend, in fact, for the last 6 weeks, the nightmare scenario that I was terrified of actually had come true. I'd upset somebody.
Why would anybody need to respond to that? That's a great closing statement. That cyberbullying doesn't just happen to certain types of people. It happens to everybody.
Who I very, very much had tried to not upset and did not want to upset.
This backlash did shake him up a bit, but he had other worries to think about, primarily his gastric bypass surgery, which was quickly approaching. Not to mention that a procedure like this should be taken very seriously, since it could go wrong in many ways, and in some cases it can even lead to death. However, the surgery was a success, and Boogie's stomach was reduced to the size of an egg. The topic around gastric
So he did end up getting it. Okay.
bypass would be the main theme of his videos at the time, because
Stop touching the incisions.
this was a very interesting subject that many people were unaware of, while Boogie was able to tell his story on the matter from his first-hand experience. However, his YouTube channel would show the first real signs of a serious problem that was about to arise. Adpocalypse was in full swing in 2017, which meant that YouTube was demonetizing many videos that they deemed inappropriate at the time. Unfortunately for Boogie, all of his content involving Francis would be demonetized, and the same would apply for all the future
I suppose it's a lot of swearing.
videos in this
And
format. The main
violence.
reason why was because of the extensive swearing and violence displayed in these videos,
yep.
something that was no longer welcome on the new YouTube. As you might guess, the Francis skits primarily revolved around him being loud and distractive for audience's amusement, so if you take that away, there is nothing left. Essentially, Boogie's most profitable content was no longer profitable, which would have a significant impact on his financial situation in the future. All of this happened while he was still recovering from the surgery. However, it still wasn't the worst thing to occur.
He should have had the surgery, recovered, and then like kind of came back and maybe started something different. Ooh, now we're going beginning of a downfall.
2017, sometime before the surgery happened, Boogie would turn up a stream for his audience, a stream that is considered by many to be the beginning of the real downfall for Boogie2988 and his career, because things are only going to get worse from here. At first, everything seemed quite normal. Boogie was chatting with his audience and occasionally inserting a karaoke session. That is, until the 30-minute mark, when Boogie started to open up about things that absolutely should have stayed behind closed doors at the time.
This is why some people can't stream, because they need to be able to go to editing and be like, all right, well, shouldn't have said that, we need to cut that out.
Meaning he opened the floodgates way too early, exposing some very private information about him and his wife without thinking about the repercussions.
Woof.
I'm gonna try to put it in the nicest way I can too, okay? Because it's very important that I do. But I want you guys to know the truth, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat it too much, okay? You guys remember about 5 months back, I made a stream. I was doing a stream, and I got a phone call in the middle of the stream, and it was my wife calling, and she wanted to talk to me, so we talked. And she said that she was really frustrated with the process of the
Yeah, this needed to stay offline.
surgery and frustrated with all the other things that she was having trouble with. And we were going to take a break after the surgery. But we hit the 4-month mark, and when we hit the 4-month mark, my wife at the 3-month mark, my wife went out of town for a week to go spend a little time with family, and she enjoyed her time there. But it was hard for us because I wasn't really ready to take care of myself. My doctor even advised against me being left alone. But
because for what reason? After 3 months, what was the reason? Okay.
My roommate took the week off to help me out, and she spent 5 days up with her mom and her cousin. And then she came home and she said, "Steve, I want to go back home for a while." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "I really feel like I need to find myself. I really feel like I need a few weeks away from the marriage to find myself and figure out who I am and what I want to do. So are you still coming home?" And she says, "Yes, I'll be home. And it may not be on the 2nd, but it'll be real close to then. And I'll be there for the Christmas party on the 18th, and we'll do Christmas together. But then I'm going to want to go home for some more." And I'm like, "Okay, I understand that. You know?" And I personally think,
so you just
based on what she
okay. There's no asking like why, what's going on. Can we talk about what
she's saying and how she's saying it, that there's no end to the amount of time she's wanting to spend up there.
If you are not sure what is going on, here is a summary. His wife, Des, went to her hometown for a week to spend some time with the family. After that week had passed, she told Boogie that she wanted to stay even longer because, in her own words, she needed some time away from the marriage. Basically, she was admitting to some marital problems that the audience wasn't aware of until that point in time. Naturally, the first thing that comes to mind is the possible end of the marriage, since wanting to spend the time separated is usually the first sign of that exact same thing. Wanting to end such rumors, Boogie, in his infinite wisdom, decided to reveal even more personal stuff about him and his wife on
this was already too much.
That exact same stream, which wasn't met with the enthusiasm he probably expected.
I'm one of the only men that she has ever really been attracted to. Because my wife has never been comfortable around other men. And she's not always comfortable.
What does that even mean? Why are we talking about this? This has nothing to do with you. Don't air your wife out like this.
My wife tells me she loves me today as much as she's ever loved me, and I believe her.
Okay.
We're great together, but sometimes we're not. And right now, she needs to do other shit, and that's okay. And if she decides a month from now she wants to come back, or 6 months from now she wants to come back, I'll make it work, you know? I'll do whatever needs doing, because I love her in a way that I put her in front of me. Because it's the right thing to do, and I'm always going to do the right thing. But the reason it's
the right thing is to stop talking about this. Like, why are we talking about this?
the right thing to do is that woman saved my life.
If you have decided to read the comments on that video, you can get a...
His streams are completely different from his videos. The gentle pacifist fence-sitter Boogie2988 is just as much a persona as Francis is. If he thinks he's the only man his wife has ever been attracted to, then he's lost his goddamn mind. Whoa, okay. His wife made him lose enough weight so he could actually survive and fucking bailed. Holy shit. I mean, kind of. It's kind of what it comes across as. Glad the veil has finally lifted and people see him for who he has always been. I'm not even going to pretend I know the brass tacks of their failing relationship, but I Will say caregiver burnout is a legit issue. His wife has played as mom and nurse for so many years. Seeing him mobile and taking care of himself was the break she desperately needed, I'm sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't cheating as much as she is just enjoying not catering to his needs 24/7. All very valid. All very valid.
Good idea of how angry people were with Boogie. This disaster was met by yet another stream in which Boogie revealed that his wife wanted to stay separate for even more time. And again, instead of letting the dust to settle and talking things out, he thought it would be better to have an emotional episode in front of the camera. What I mean by this is that Boogie had another stream, this one dedicated to the looming divorce.
Me and my wife have talked
Stop streaming.
about it, and we have decided that we will, I think we're looking into separating after the surgery. Now, I don't think divorce is what's going to happen, and I don't think we're going to get divorced. I think we're going to separate for a little while to get a little bit of space.
Boogie listened to sad music, cried on camera, and even watched his proposal video.
And people, what are we doing? Stop.
You need a support system, though, after surgery? Well, that's going to be you. That's going to have to be you.
Oh, God. Not simple plan.
Open my eyes, I try to see, but I'm blinded by the white lines.
No. How? What are we doing? How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes. Oh, God.
Can't remember how, I can't remember why.
I can't remember how. Oh, gosh. Why are we doing this?
I'm lying here tonight, and I can't stand the pain. As your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark.
What are we doing?
You and me have seen everything to see.
You need to call your wife or get a journal or... But what we really need to do is get off stream.
Calgary, in the soles of your shoes.
Depressing is the only word that comes to mind while watching this downward spiral. Boogie was hoping that Des would eventually come back and that this was just a temporary solution for the marriage problems that they were facing. However, soon after, he would announce that the divorce would indeed be happening. But Des offered to stay with Boogie until the surgery and sometime after that to help with the recovery to a point where he would be able to take care of himself. Amazingly enough, they did stay in touch after the divorce, with Boogie even citing that they were still friends. He even called her live on stream sometime later on his birthday, and his viewers were treated to what I can only describe as the strangest 5 minutes I have ever experienced.
What do you want?
Hey, it's good to hear your voice. It's been a couple days. How are you doing?
I'm alright. Can't complain too much.
I made it to 45. What do you think about that?
He called her on a stream and they're just chatting. Does she know she's live on a stream?
Impressive.
Yeah, I didn't think I would. VidCon is weird
45. How old is Boogie? My God.
without you. It really is, because like we're all these very familiar places, right? And like going to Disney without you, I've been like 5 times now. It's just so weird. It's your ghost haunts
Going to Disney, I've been like 5 times. Just slide that in there.
me there. It's kind of nice though. I haven't been to Eureka Springs in forever. Because people don't know this, but that's where we got engaged.
Yeah, it is.
All of the YouTube videos are still up. You know, our wedding YouTube video is still up and everything. Because I don't see a point in deleting it. People have asked me like,
What is happening? Like, what?
why don't I delete it? But I'm like, what's the best day of my life? I love that day. Why would I delete that? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, geez, what a day. Somebody says this woman is hilarious. Music is more than... Yeah, why do you think I married this woman? Of course, she's hysterical. She's far funnier than I ever was. Why do you think the Francis videos haven't been good since we separated?
What her head would look like on a stick.
Boogie would unfortunately leave 2017 as a divorced man, and as I said earlier, things only got worse from here, as the problems with YouTube and his degrading mental state would soon take their toll.
Man behind the mask, alright?
Boogie's behavior became stranger by the day from then on. What I mean by that is that the kind and gentle person we saw in videos started to feel like an act. Boogie even admitted that he does play a character for the
Steven, the realist me, has always been a moderate, live and let live liberal. Boogie, the person I try to be, is a critical thinking centrist. You should have took out critical thinking and just put in centrist. Francis, the person I try not to be, is just an asshole. Okay.
camera and that it might not represent who he actually is. It was extremely strange to hear something like this come from Boogie, since his personality is the main reason why people stick around his channel. The true difference between YouTube Boogie and the real Boogie would be revealed during his live streams, where his persona began to crack, exposing someone buried deep inside. Someone who was, perhaps, always there, but was good at keeping it hidden.
Do you guys want to see what I can do? Why do I have 2 beds? One for me and one for my hooker. One for me and one
What?
for my hooker. One for me and one for my hooker.
What are we doing? What are we
Is there
doing?
people out there, little assholes, little douchebags, little dickheads, little cunts, little shit faces, little fucking whatever the fuck you want to call them, and they fucking little pricks, little fucking ball sacks, little scrotal.
Bruh. Relax, alright? Take a step back.
Pieces of shit.
It wasn't just the indecent comments or the attitude that was jaw-dropping to anyone who watched Boogie on YouTube. It was also his interactions with other people, like the time he tried to crack a joke at the guy whose parents got divorced.
Right, are your parents still alive? By chance?
Yeah.
Are your parents still together?
No.
Okay, all right. So maybe I should take point then.
What?
Well, if your parents aren't together, and you probably come from a broken home, you're probably gonna get real angry when you start losing. So.
I won last game, but.
With his response to Ellen from Everyday Than Fitness, a fellow YouTuber who made a video about
Because his parents are divorced, he's gonna be upset for losing? What? I don't understand.
Boogie's state, mostly addressing his weight, where he pointed out that he was not putting in the necessary effort to lose it. This made Alan believe that Boogie did a gastric bypass surgery simply
I mean, doesn't sound wrong.
as a shortcut.
I pretty much said that he was getting gastric bypass surgery as a quick fix. That it was like, it was basically the equivalent to a addict cutting their thumbs off so they couldn't push a plunger in, you know? That he's a serious food addict. At one point in time, he weighed close to, I think, 600 pounds. He was a very big man. He addicted to food. Many videos of him just guzzling, sodas and eating huge pizzas. Addicted to food, like truly addicted to bad food.
He also commented on Boogie's mental state, exposing some of the disturbing things he said on his live streams. Boogie's initial response was atrocious, to say the least.
Videos like this are not helpful, they are harmful. They make the situation so much worse. If this man wanted to help me, instead of getting clicks, he would have emailed me. We would have discussed it. I have no emails, no contact attempts, nothing. He clearly just wants to make the clicks, the money, and use me as an example for his audience. Maybe on some level, he also wants to help. He just said it wasn't helpful.
He essentially attacked the guy who genuinely wanted to help him and accused him of using his name for clicks. He also mentioned this on H3H3 podcast, where he opened the floodgates for...
He did drop a significant amount of weight, though, in this. Like, he should have just...
for his large fan base to attack Everyday Than Fitness by lying.
That's when Ethan was skinny, though, too.
Turned it into,
Well,
he's encouraging people to stay
Ethan's skinny now, I think.
fat. He's going to die in the next year and all this stuff, right?
I challenge each and every one of you to look above, below, and at the end at the video that I made about Boogie2988. I challenge each and every one of you. I really do. I challenge each and every one of you to find where I said anything like that.
And while they did make amends later, it just showed that Boogie was losing his grip on social aspects, which was evident in his interactions with others. Another way he demonstrated his mental instability was through a series of extremely strange videos at the time, the most disturbing of which was Boogie/Francis losing his mind. In the said video, Boogie was filmed in a room that has the words
I am a psychopath? What the hell?
I'm a psychopath written all over the walls, while in the meantime talking to himself and pretending that he is addressing his made-up character Francis as if he were a real person. Later on, he brings in the effigy of his ex-wife to deliver a monologue that I can only describe as a cry for help.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Francis. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Boogie's doing so good. Shut up! I don't need you here. No, I disagree. I disagree. I think you assaulted his mother about 10 minutes ago.
What is happening?
Things are getting a little out of hand. It's just a prank. It's just a prank. What kind of prank is this? What kind of prank is this? Okay, read the writing on the wall. All right, but for now, you're gonna have to trust me. I don't
Read the right. Like, oh, the right. Autumn, focus. Come on.
I don't trust you, dude. I have never trusted you. You are the most untrustworthy person on the planet. Do you understand that? You're an actual sociopath. You're an actual psychopath. You are the reason she left, okay? And you know that. Yeah, Boogie, I'm why she left. I'm also the only reason you found her to begin with, okay?
I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say.
Okay, you win. You win. You're in charge. You're not supposed to eat it, idiot. That's for later. Okay, all right. How do I know I can trust you? You don't have to trust me, buddy, okay? I got a friend you can talk to. Well, look right there. She's here.
What is going on?
I'm sorry, I know you don't like being on camera.
Somebody get this man help. Is he okay?
How have you been? Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to know you're happy. I miss her too.
Okay, I can't. Like, it's making me cringe.
I know you're tired of hearing it, but I'm really sorry.
Ugh.
Maybe these were the real signs of a broken mind that Boogie was forced to live with. His
He's
mental
got a
instability wasn't the
broken
only thing on
something.
display, as his professional interests were also questioned while he was interviewing his friend, the kid behind the camera. This video was despised by basically everyone on the sole basis
Kid behind the camera, this is a man.
of how manipulative it is. If you're unfamiliar with the situation, here is a quick recap. Kid behind the camera used to be a popular YouTuber known for his Angry Grandpa show. His real name is Michael, and he had some real accusations rolling in on him when the clear signs of physical abuse towards his children were shown on camera for YouTube views. In this interview,
I said it once, I'll say it again. Some people should not have children.
Boogie asked a laughably easy questions without really getting into the meat of the problem, which was the serious concern of child abuse. Rather, he almost always agreed with Michael, and sometimes even answered the questions for him, all while ignoring the real issue and giving Michael all the praise he needed.
Michael, are you abusive, man? Are you abusing these kids? Well, first, I wasn't abused as a kid.
That's no excuse. That's no excuse.
That's right. I was.
Yeah, you're saying
I was the golden child.
And you said you had hardly anything saved.
I still have hardly.
Because we were talking, you had a video saying you were like going broke.
Yeah.
And I called you up and I'm like, Michael, is this real? And you're like, yeah, dude, I have barely anything saved. Tell
Like most people.
them why that is. Tell them why.
I mean, I take care of everybody in my family. When Dad was alive, I was paying all of his bills. Not to mention, he gets half of the YouTube money.
And a lot of people will say, if that's what he thinks is appropriate to show for the video, what is he not showing? I mean, do you guys fight off camera? Is it worse when have you ever hit Richmond?
Never. Dad raised me that a man who puts his hands on a woman isn't a man at all.
Amen.
Okay. Yes. But what are you doing to your children?
Many people thought that the main reason why Boogie acted like this was because Michael and him have been friends for a long time, and YouTube connections are a valuable asset in this business. So when another YouTuber called Daddy05 was accused of practically the same thing, which is abusing his children, Boogie was much more vocal in condemning their actions both on Twitter and YouTube. So it is easy to notice the hypocrisy when he didn't give the same amount of criticism to his friend who was in the
Friends or not, you need to call them out, man. You're gonna be a better friend if you can call your friend on their shit.
similar position. While the video at first was monstrably criticized, viewers also pointed out a real issue in the YouTube community. That is how fellow YouTubers are willing to cover for each other even in the face of the most heinous accusations in order to
That's also very true.
keep the support structure intact. It seemed that no one was safe from this conduct, not even Boogie2988. It is entirely subjective to believe that this was the reason for Boogie's behavior or if it was simply his
This kid behind the camera guy just looks so, like, standoffish. Like, I don't like the vividity vibes I'm getting from this guy.
ability to get confrontational. Nevertheless, it was still one of the factors which caused him to get a significant amount of hate. He also started to get extremely defensive about his weight.
I wasn't able to continue my clean eating, man. I'm really sorry about that. I guess it was very important to you, and I'm sorry that it was, but yeah, since I was traveling, I wasn't able to keep it up, man. I got back home, and I've been doing it ever since I got back home, but you're right. I didn't do it while I was traveling. That's a real shame, man. And I'm really sorry I wasn't able to.
6 months after his surgery,
He did so great.
lost approximately 50 kilograms. However, that was the usual weight loss for people who had undergone this kind of surgery, primarily because it stopped them from eating more, and after that point, Boogie needed to put in actual effort if he wanted to lose even more. Even though he stated otherwise, he did not put forth the necessary effort. He constantly assured his audience that he was doing the proper diet without cheating, but that was
If you're doing the proper diets without cheating, you're going to lose weight.
soon proven to be a lie. Mostly because, at his size, he should have been losing weight at a massive rate.
Yeah, when the bigger you are, the more noticeable and faster you lose weight right away. Just saying.
But he didn't.
Since surgery, 540 pounds to 360. I still got a lot of weight to go, though.
540 to 360, that's incredible, though. You should want to keep going.
To reach my target weight from the surgery in that first year and a half, in that first 18 months, I need to lose an additional 100 pounds. So I'm pretty far off target so far.
Also, some pictures surfaced of Boogie from events showing him lying about
Boogie2988's eating habits after gastric bypass. Yeah, all this you can't have anymore. You can't do this anymore.
his eating habits. He made his weight loss journey public.
It's crazy to me that someone went through several years of photos and videos to prove I have an eating disorder, even though I openly admit to having an eating disorder. Thanks for proving me right. Still right around 370 where I've been for a long time. Thank God. Okay, but you should be wanting to go down. Boogie.
But got mad when people publicly criticized him for not committing to the task. Even
This is the thing. If you don't want people to comment on your weight, don't talk about it so much. Don't bring people along for a journey if you're going to get defensive about it.
More negative publicity followed with the controversy involving BetterHelp, an online platform that turned out to be a complete
Yeah, does not do BetterHelp.
scam made to swindle people with mental problems out of their money that Boogie and a lot of other YouTubers advertised and supported on their channels.
I have noticed that a lot more channels aren't doing BetterHelp sponsorships, and that's pretty good.
The newfound criticism started to convert a large number of his fans into haters, something that Boogie had a real problem with. Bad opinions had a negative effect
I'm tired of being the victim. I'm tired of people victimizing me. I'm not very good at fighting back, but I'm gonna try. No one deserves this level of harassment, not even me. I didn't take down Frank's channel. I didn't take down the subreddit, but now I wish I did. He sounds like a freaking middle schooler.
on him for a long time, and now these opinions grew more each day, to the point where a weird and disturbing pattern started to emerge in his videos. Boogie began to mention, both jokingly and seriously, the possibility of him killing himself.
I think, and this is my opinion, I think when the time comes, I'm gonna have no problem pulling the trigger, or like once I've fully given up hope. You know, once I've fully given up hope, once I'm fully ready to go, once the internet has forgotten about me, and you guys don't need me anymore, and I'm not needed around anymore, and if I haven't found a wife and I haven't had kids or something like that, and haven't had the life that I wanted for myself, and I'm just miserable and alone, I don't think I'll have any problem pulling the trigger. You and Robin.
Excuse me, what? You're just... I literally have no words.
Williams related? No. Both of you shared the last name? No. I have nothing in common with Robin Williams at all whatsoever. He's hilarious. I'm a piece of human garbage. So pretty much.
What is all this self-deprecation? Bruh.
Pretty much pretty different. I think the only thing we have in common is that eventually I'll probably kill myself, and also mental illness.
At the start, this type of behavior
What the fuck? What is this?
horrified his audience, which had no idea that Boogie was in a mental state where he could be capable of doing something like that. The possible result could have been due to the combination of divorce and the new infamy. One stream was so bad that someone even called a welfare check for Boogie, something that aged
Good. Oh my gosh, why didn't nobody call on the other ones?
him very much.
But anyway, I talked to them in DMs, and I told them what my plan is. My plan is as it is right now, and this is my first time talking about it publicly, but because I don't trust this person, because I've told them everything in DMs, and they decided to call in a welfare check on me that involved the cops showing up at my house, paramedics showing up at my house, the fire...
If you... Okay, let me... I'm going to take a minute here. So, I currently am 30 years old, and since about the age of 13, I have struggled with self-harm and the thoughts that come with that. Now, I didn't tell anybody about any of this until I was 27. So from 13 to 27, just no one really knew. I mean, my friends in middle school found out, and the kids did the whole, oh, you're doing this for attention, which don't... How do I want to phrase this? Because, don't say that to people, because you never know who's going to be the one to, oh, they think I'm doing this for attention? Well, watch this. And 2, you just don't... It's just not what you say. One friend did go to the guidance counselor in middle school, and they told me that they were going to call my mom and, like, tell her, because, I mean, she'd seen the guidance counselor made me show her, you know, the self-harm spots, and she said, okay, well, I need to tell your mom. And I was terrified. And when I started therapy, and I was talking to my therapist about this, and she had said, you know, it might be helpful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just your coping mechanism, which it's not a good coping mechanism, but it's a coping mechanism. And I felt I needed to get it off my chest and talk to my mom about it. To then, I found out the school never called her and told her anything. So it's like, one, what's the point of school guidance counselors if they're not really doing anything for these types of situations? And it's just... So, moral of the story, to hear Boogie just be able to talk about this so openly and be so blasé about it, and it really rubs me the wrong way, and it kind of irritates me, because there are people out there that, one, are going to care enough to do these wellness checks. And if you're going to get pissed because somebody did a wellness check, I could just put my fist through the screen, because somebody cared enough to want to make sure you were okay and you're upset about it. I went 14 years not with nobody really knowing I had these problems. And now, I can't do anything without people thinking or having the thought in their mind of, is Autumn alive? I mean, it's not ideal, but I would so much rather that be my life now than it all being a surprise. But anyways, this just pisses me off. Do not use suicide as like a throwaway comment.
Department coming into the house in the middle of a date, by the way. Here's what I told him.
Oh, excuse me, you were on a date because you told somebody that you were gonna off yourself. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm just mad.
I told him that all of this shit is making me suicidal, and I didn't want to fucking kill myself. That I might kill myself in a month.
You don't say it at all, dude.
I might kill myself when I take care of my other shit. But I don't want to fucking kill myself tonight. I want to do it on my terms. I want to do it on my time. But the shit that I'm dealing with is making me fucking suicidal. And I told my friend, I'm like, look, I'm alone right now. I can't be attacked right now. I can't do this shit right now. Please, I'm going to block you. I don't want to talk to you about it anymore.
You blocked this dude because they wanted to help you. Yo, I can't.
Just leave me alone. I don't want to fucking blow my brains out tonight. I just want to be left alone, man.
This stream generated a lot of hate, because Boogie got mad at people for trying to take care of him, and to most of them, it started to appear that Boogie was emotionally manipulating his audience so that they...
Very much so. Very much so. You do not. Oh, I feel like this is just making me want to go down the sewer slide. Oh, but I might not do... I'm gonna do it in like a month or two. Don't worry about it. Freaking sicko.
They wouldn't abandon him. Other of his videos showed a similar pattern of insincere behavior. As if all of that wasn't enough, another huge scandal was soon to arrive when on the H3H3 podcast, Boogie would reveal that he's dating a new, much younger girlfriend, a fact that piqued the interest of many people watching.
No, I think she was fine.
She got it.
Yeah, she's a smart girl. She's a strong, powerful, smart girl. For her age,
Strong,
I just was
independent.
just shocked.
How old is she? How old is she?
How old is she?
What's the age?
She will
Okay, skinny legend Ethan. Damn.
be able to legally drink soon.
She can't... In the one video, he said he was 45. How old is this dude?
Damn, you dog, dude.
Unfortunately for Boogie, he wouldn't be laughing for long, since the person in question was soon discovered to be a cam girl named Lucy Fox that Boogie met on a sugar daddy website. On the
It's cam girl. Beaten and bruised. 44 men. Fayetteville, Arkansas, United States. People pleaser who needs to be pleased. You.
said site, he described himself as a people pleaser who liked to be pleased. As you might expect, having sugar daddy website discovered was...
Okay, so he is 44 in this, and she was... so that's a 24-year gap. When, like, that's old enough to be her father at that point. Right? Yeah.
Was the last thing you wanted to happen when you have a reputation like Boogie, but somehow it got worse. Him and Lucy would break up eventually, which led Lucy to
She's cute too.
post a video on Reddit exposing him as being a liar and manipulator during their time of the relationship.
So I dated a YouTuber, and for his sake, I'm just gonna call him asshole. Okay.
I'm just gonna call him looks around asshole.
So asshole, I met asshole, and he was on a website. I'm not gonna say what kind of website, but you can probably figure it out. And I, thought, oh, this must be a joke. Like, asshole was nice at first.
Usually how assholes are.
As most assholes are. And
See,
I thought, well, let's see how it goes. He seems like a nice guy.
you can tell she's young because she's so just... Poor baby.
If you know what I do for a job, then I have to be at home in order to be on cam. Well, I couldn't do that because it would turn into an argument every time I tried to leave. Why are you trying to leave me? I need somebody right now.
That is a spot-on Boogie impression.
Blah, 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 blah. He was like, why don't you just stay at home? Well, I'm not making any money at home right now because it's a slow season and I can't go anywhere because every time I try to leave your house, you scream and yell at me. All right.
Ma'am, if you run, I don't think he's gonna run after you. Just saying.
Fair enough.
This is also coming from another fat person, so I can say it.
$500 so you can go out to Los Angeles. You aren't, you're just fucking annoying and you just don't want to listen to me, blah, 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 blah.
All of this raised a serious questions about Boogie's previous marriage, with some people thinking that he was also abusive to his ex-wife, which was back.
Yeah, I guess we don't know if he was or not.
Boogie once mentioning that Des signed.
My ex-wife had never signed an NDA. Check her Twitter feed. She has admitted it. You are spreading fake you're the fake fucking news. Also, the tweet you are referring to was called a joke. Has nothing to do with sympathy. I feel sorry that you are either this misinformed or that purposely obtuse. Why did I just read that? Like, such a... Because this is the vibes Boogie kind of gives me. It's just that, like, middle schooler mean person type thing. Why did I think he was so nice?
An NDA before the divorce, something he later denied. True or not, you can see how people around Boogie started to talk about him in a way they never would before. It is good to keep in mind that at the beginning, all of these controversial events were mostly unknown to the majority of his fanbase, but after so many incidents, there was so much dirt on Boogie that it was just a matter of time before someone would blow a whistle, exposing the truth.
Ela is just so pretty.
To everyone in a very public manner.
War with internet. Okay.
The explosion wouldn't.
However, we've made it an hour in, guys. How am I feeling? I'm still a little heated.
Fact come, and it was caused by a curious YouTuber named Christopher Tom with his video The Follow Boogie2988, why he's losing subscribers. To say that this video would cause shockwaves would be putting it lightly. By far, it is still the most popular video on Tom's channel, sitting at almost 4 million views today. In this video, Tom exposed all of the dirty laundry of Boogie2988 with no filter. It included everything I said earlier and much, much more. Things like Boogie laughing at his friend that died of cancer.
Oh, you had to go through that. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, I mean, I didn't go through it. I'm still alive. She's dead.
Are you freaking kidding me? Who says that?
Oh, yeah. Brutal. Yeah. I'm serious. She like, why do I get to complain? She's the one that has to be dead. Fuck.
Why do I get to complain? She's the one that has to be dead? Dude.
A Tesla, many more examples of him cheating on his diet, a toxic.
What did that one do?
Alright, I mean, I didn't go through
it. And overall horrible behavior on camera.
Brutal. Yeah. I'm serious. She like, why do I get to complain? She's the one that has to be dead.
Him buying a Tesla, many more.
How much Boogie acted like he ate from Boogie's video? I should stop there. I can't eat much more than that. How much Boogie really ate from Adam the Woo's video?
Examples of him cheating on his diet, a toxic attitude towards his fans, and overall horrible behavior.
You make me so sad, Boogie. I want to end it all and saw you as an inspiration. My end it on you. I hope you choose to stay and fight, just like I am. If you don't, I'll be disappointed.
On camera. Needless to say, everyone that watched this video was shocked at the amount of evidence Tom provided, and in the process questioned their own opinion of who Boogie actually is.
Yeah,
the earthquake was so devastating that Boogie had to make a response video, and things definitely didn't go so well.
Hey guys, this is a video I've been told not to make by almost every person in the YouTube community.
I'm sure.
Every creator I know, all of my fans, and everyone else.
Tell me their names.
I'm at a point now where I feel like I have to address this stuff. I feel like it has reached critical mass, and
I'm going to go ahead
and talk about it, because either it will help the situation and things will get better, or it will make the situation so much worse that my career is finally over, and I'm kind of okay with either at this point.
And my career is finally over. What? Just don't do YouTube anymore if you want your career to finally be over.
If I'm being honest.
No one was buying his explanations, and for the first time ever on his channel, Boogie was slowly starting to get more hate than love on YouTube. Something like this was primarily felt when you look at his views, which drastically declined in a span of just a few short months. It seemed that, unlike before, this drama had an actual effect on Boogie's career, a fact he also had a hard time accepting. However, the biggest detractor group that caused Boogie sleepless nights.
The hidden truth Boogie doesn't want you to know. Criticism mega thread. The Reddit got to him.
Was on Reddit, where a mega thread about him was made called The Hidden Truth That Boogie Doesn't Want You to Know, documenting all of the
Disclaimer, contrary to what he claims, Boogie is not being accused of being a pedophile or a wife beater. It's easy to think that Boogie gets hated on because he's too nice to fight back. That's true. After all, everyone knows he's the Mr. Rogers of the internet. Boogie2988 seems to be a lovable person that wants to spread positivity and kindness. At first glance, it's not hard to root for Boogie. According to Boogie, his abusive upbringing drives him to inspire others suffering the same fate. This is how he gains your sympathy. His underdog story might even inspire you. The truth is that Boogie isn't what he seems. He's a selfish, abusive, manipulative liar. Yeah, I've kind of seen that. His nice guy persona is fake. He manipulates his impressionable fan base for his own benefit. Boogie is a character played by Stephen Jason Williams. Of course, the natural reaction is denial. It can't be true, can it? He is such an inspiration. You're just a hater. Let the facts speak for themselves. Okay. And then we're on to sugar babies.
Mistakes Boogie has made while on YouTube. The mega thread was even mentioned in Tom's video, and it was only getting bigger by the day. The Boogie was basically at war with that mega thread from the moment that post gained attraction.
Did I see Reddit today? Oh, I seen Reddit today. Ooh, we don't like
So he let Reddit get to him.
Boogie anymore. Good, I don't fucking like you.
Oh my gosh. We don't like Boogie anymore. Good, I don't like you. My God.
I don't fucking like you, Reddit. Okay, I don't care. I never cared. Here's how. All right.
You know how you can tell when people care? When they go off this hard and say they don't care.
Let me fucking show you something real quick. Hold on, let me show you something. Okay? Here is right here. Hold on, this is magic card. This is not what I was gonna show you. You guys wanna fucking see this? Oh, you guys wanna fucking see this? You ready for this?
Dude.
You see what this is? This is the world's tiniest violin, okay? Playing the tiny little fucking dirge for how little of a shit I give about what fucking Reddit thinks about me.
Are you sure about that? You real sure? You real sure you don't care?
Okay? I don't give a fuck.
He began
I think you do.
to despise his detractors.
I think you give lots of fucks, Boogie.
More than ever before, because he was afraid of losing his status on YouTube to the point of sheer paranoia. He talked about them more and more on all platforms. It seemed all he was thinking about were his haters, while keeping his true feelings about them hidden deep inside. Unfortunately for Boogie, everything he
Keeping his true feelings deep in... What? What true feelings? They were kind of all out there.
felt would blow up on a particular World of Warcraft stream, where one of the viewers asked why Boogie is getting so much hate, prompting Boogie to turn off his reasoning and then proceeded to say this.
Boogie, I don't get why you get so much crap. You have a hard on life as it is, but especially when you have done so much good and helped so many people. P.S. I love you, no homo. I think I can answer that
Remember the no homo days?
question, and it's complicated. But I think the most important thing to remind you is that I have made more than my fair share of mistakes. But there's also a group of people out there who like to hate on what's...
He's saying these are all mistakes?
...popular to hate on. Your Wings of Redemptions, your Dark Side Fills. They just like to hate on what's popular, and recently it's become popular to hate on me. These are the people I despise.
Oh, so this is what it's just popular to hate me right now. It's okay. I'll get over it.
If I'm being honest with you, these are the people I dislike. And if I look down on you, and you look down on me, but I look down on you, you must be a real piece of shit if I look down on you. Would you agree?
What?
Guys, if I look down on you, you must be a real fucking loser. If someone like me or Darkside Phil or Wings of Redemption looks down on you, you must be one of the worst pieces of shit alive. But I want you to know.
I don't get the relevance. I guess I don't know these other two people either. Just another dive I have to do.
I think you are the lowest of the low. I think you are the worst of the worst. I think that there are fucking rapists and Nazis out there who, even though they are rapists and fucking Nazis, they are more redeemable than you because at least...
Please tell me you are not saying that rapists and Nazis are redeemable. Boogie, please tell me this is not what you're saying.
they're doing something they fucking believe in.
What? rapists and Nazis are more redeemable because they're doing something they believe in. Do you hear yourself? What the actual... I was mad before. I'm real mad now. Jeb knows.
They may be pieces of garbage. They may be pieces of shit. They may harm other...
You don't get to throw this in here now because you've already said what you've said. I'm sorry, Jebby. I'm real heated right now, bud.
people, but at least they believe what they fucking stand for.
In what could be considered one of the worst streams Boogie has...
I'm sorry, I need to take a breath. We need some seltzer. I need to pet Jebby. Okay.
Ever done, he further sunk his career, with one of the most memorable lines from that stream being that internet trolls are worse than Nazis or rapists. While most of the people laughed at Boogie for his absurd logic, it showed just how much the negative
Okay, I want an autumn puppet. Be a lot cooler than a boogie puppet.
reputation was having an impact on him, to the point where he
We could find a Jebby puppet. Huh?
would say such an absurd thing without thinking. But
Where's
the
your
lunacy
sissy?
doesn't stop here. Frustrated at
Go
the new
find your
fanbase that was
sissy.
gathering around his mistakes, Boogie decided to strike back at his detractors. He started to throw around
Why are we... This dude needs to just log off.
accusations, one of the most notable ones being that he accused people on that subreddit of swatting him, a very serious claim that could put
Yeah. Don't swat anybody.
people responsible for such an act behind bars for a very long time. The owner of the subreddit, Howard
When did he say this shit? Is he actually saying that we've swatted him twice this month? I've seen every single post, every comment, every deleted comment, every shadow banned user that's posted to this sub in the last month. Not a single one even hinted at swatting. In fact, I've literally never seen a comment or post ever talk about swatting anyone in the entire history of this sub. The other stuff is untrue as well. The worst things I've had to remove in the last few months don't even come close to the kinds of things he's claiming are being done here. But the false swatting accusations especially pisses me off because swatting is a felony. It's a very, very serious thing to accuse someone of. True. It's also very stupid because if someone had enough money to throw around, they could take him to court for declaratory relief, right? Declaratory relief based on some of the things he's been saying. I would never do that because I understand he's a very fragile and mentally ill person who needs to lie about his critics to feel better about himself. I just wish he understood how dangerous and irresponsible what he's saying is. Wow, that's a very well thought out. I know, honey. I'm trying to calm down. I understand. Thank you.
A denied these claims to the fullest extent. To prove his point, the moderator displayed Fayetteville police logs from around the time Boogie claimed he was swatted, and there was no record of any police officers being dispatched to Boogie's residence, to which Boogie responded that
Does Boogie forget that this stuff would be record and most police reports are public record, so anybody can look this stuff up? I genuinely don't know. A mistake on their part? Which one was it in November that's in the blotter then? Can you tell me the date? Please don't share my address, thanks. So I know which of the November visits it was and ask them about it?
the police in the area simply don't record the visits to his house because of the sheer number of swattings he had in the past. Naturally,
that's not how that works.
This claim was insane, and it started to seem like Boogie was lying about this very serious topic. When he realized he backed himself into a corner, Boogie released a series of tweets in which he...
One of the things I said was that I got 2 visits from the cops in December. Now that's not much of a lie because I got maybe 4 visits last year. I just shifted the dates around. Had no clue they would latch on to that one like they did though.
He explained his master plan, how he purposely lied about swatting.
To prove me wrong, they literally looked up my home address, then cross-referenced it via police records to try to discredit me. But in the process, actually proved I got swatted 3 times last year, providing the dates, making it easier to find my address, by the way.
hoping that his subreddit detractors would look into his personal information and then the police records, which would
I mean, they literally violated Reddit policy by making it easy on a thread to find my home address. It could even get their subreddit shut down. Absolutely insane. What's even crazier is they tried to make it seem like I blamed them for the SWAT. I didn't. Why are you so consumed with freaking Twitter and Reddit?
to prove how obsessive they are about him to dig that deep into his claims, and in turn prove how insane that subreddit is.
This was, of course, horribly manipulative and something I would normally never do. I have a friend in PR and she recommended giving the misinformation, and I figure I have nothing to lose at this point, so why not have fun with it? But wow, did they take the bait. Who would tell you, oh, just give them misinformation, it's perfectly fine. Then they'll just take that and run with it. Bitch.
And how he was just a victim of unhinged maniacs. If Boogie honestly thought
Boogie is unhinged at this point.
something like this was a good idea, then I suggest that he visits the nearest hospital to check if he has any brain damage, because he just admitted to a federal crime in the hopes of settling internet beef.
Yes.
Amazingly enough, he doubled down on this so much that Boogie even got into the DMs of one of the subreddit members where he said even more deranged things, like that he wouldn't mind going to jail if it meant that he would take the
Whoa. This stuff used to make me so miserable back when I still had something to lose, but now that it's all pretty much gone, I can just do whatever I want. I mean, even if the cops do arrest me, what does that impact? Your life?
He also made over 300 tweets in one day, meaning he had a meltdown
300 tweets in a day? My Twitter is lucky to see one tweet, like in a week.
of apocalyptic proportions. If the hole that Boogie was digging wasn't deep enough, he followed his statements with a now deleted video where he went on yet another rant about how he finally got the upper hand on his detractors.
I have a friend who works for the FBI, and I asked him how to...
I have a friend in PR. I have a friend that works for the FBI. Bitch, where? Who? What? If you had know these people, they are not going to tell you to do these things.
With the online harassment that I get from a certain subreddit, from Kiwi farms, from places like that. And he told me the only way to fight that stuff back is to expose those people for what they really are. So that's what this video is.
Expose these people for what they really are. What are they? They are people on the internet just talking. Most Reddits and tweets, there's no validity to them. People just spew their spew, and that's it.
I'm going to show you some receipts that I think you should see. And after talking to my friend at the FBI, after talking to a friend in PR, they made a suggestion, and that was to bait them and see what would happen. So I did. I had a private...
Bait them. I feel like most people would say just don't interact.
Knew who posted on that message board, and I filled it full of tons of misinformation to see what they would grab a hold of. I told them all kinds of outlandish stuff. I told them that I was writing a book, which is not an...
I told them all sorts of outlandish stuff. I'm writing a book. Who the fuck cares?
Entire lie, but I told them that I was swatted twice in December. I told them that
Where did they get 3 times then, or 4 times, or whatever it was?
I dated a girl that was 43 years old for the last couple of years because I wanted to see what they would do with this information, and I just wanted to keep them busy. What they latched onto, though...
This is such middle school shit.
I was totally surprised with what they latched on because they incriminated themselves so beautifully that I can't... If you have respect for these people after me showing you this, then I don't want you to have respect for me because I no longer respect you. Right?
I don't respect you anymore, Boogie.
Right here, in one of the most upvoted posts on this entire subreddit, they show where they both doxed me, where they searched police records involving my address and my home information, and they have literally gone completely batshit insane.
It's almost unbelievable how Boogie handled this situation.
Almost insane. It is insane.
As if he was purposely sabotaging himself. With deranged outbursts like these, he became even more unpopular, which meant he was again losing his already dwindling fanbase, something that could be noticed by again taking a look at views on his channel. However, there were a few successful videos here and there, like when Boogie got dental implants to replace his rotten teeth, which was similar to the success he had with his gastric bypass videos. But there is only so much body modification a person can do to stay relevant on YouTube. On top of his newfound infamy, other members of the community began to despise him, and Boogie was soon cut off from his old friends.
You know, it's one person that ruins it for everyone. I can understand.
It's been great for me.
Yeah.
If you are no longer friends with Keemstar, you've hit rock bottom.
Every YouTuber I've met, I've liked. Every fan.
I hate Boogie2988.
If Keemstar doesn't like you, you've hit rock bottom. Like, Keemstar thinks everybody's a piece of shit for whatever reason. And I am not a fan of Keemstar at all. But if this is how Keemstar is going to talk about you, and not even in Drama Alert, just on whatever this is, I'm guessing it's a podcast, you have hit the bottom, bro.
Leave him alone, man.
Haven't met every fan subscriber I've met. Perfectly nice.
Boogie2988 once was a very respectable member of the YouTube community.
right? I mean, his most popular video was Fat Man falls into a fucking pool. I don't
my
think
God, he was me.
respectable.
Amazingly enough, all of this pales in comparison to yet another incident that will befell Boogie.
Feeding the... Boogie's been feeding the trolls forever. Okay, we have like 20, almost 30 minutes left of this. We can do it. Well, hi, Debbie.
Boogie would soon clash with another YouTuber called Frank Hustle, a shady character on the platform
Frank
who gained fame by harassing
Hustle.
people in public. Frank was a
Why are we giving people platforms to harass people? I don't understand.
notorious figure, and Boogie definitely didn't need to fight this battle, but he did. As a result, Frank and him started arguing, and then everything escalated into a public brawl. But
Let me guess. They argued on Twitter?
I don't think this was just an indecisive battle, because Frank played Boogie like a fiddle in every encounter they had,
Was it the world's tiniest fiddle because Boogie doesn't care?
saying pretty much anything to get him upset, which resulted in Boogie having multiple meltdowns.
They pretend I am. And
To get Boogie to have a meltdown. Excuse you, sir. For Boogie to have a meltdown, it doesn't seem like too much of a freaking chore.
You are fat and annoying.
yeah, I am. I'm comfortable with that.
You are fat and
I
annoying.
made over $1 million being that, so I'm pretty happy with it.
And where are you now?
Sure
Fat,
am.
old, lonely. Dude, you were messaging me yesterday telling me that you
Fat, old, lonely. My gosh, me in freaking 20 years.
trust me and that you think I'm a good guy. And
Yeah, I was hoping, man. I was hoping, man.
I met
It's
you
okay,
2
it
days
turns
ago
out
and you're
we're
like, bro,
It's okay, I trust you, go nuts. Good show, man. Made a lot of people happy. See you soon. Shut the fuck up. Okay, we'll go back to blocking if you prefer. I don't know. I think you are pretty funny, dude. And as I said, no hard feelings. Fun sparring with you. See you soon. Boogie, shut the fuck up.
I trust you. Do whatever, bro. I trust you. It's fine.
Yeah.
You should get your testosterone levels checked, bro.
Oh, I take testosterone once every 2 weeks. I have really low testosterone, so I have to inject myself.
No,
I
wait.
can fucking tell. I can fucking tell.
That was
Man, I'm warning you, and like I get that guy really doesn't believe it, but like people get in the middle of fights here. Like if you fucking reach out and touch me, or like we start arguing, like someone's gonna end up hurting you, man. I don't want
Shut the fuck up, bro. I don't care. Shut up. You're
No,
like
I do,
fucking
man.
warning me. I don't give a fuck.
I genuinely don't. You want to hear a story from therapy? It's super amusing.
Not really, no. I don't.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
The biggest thing that agitated Boogie was when Frank said
Okay, I have a feeling this dude is not the best either, but I do appreciate just his complete shutdown.
that he would come to Arkansas to harass him in person. Boogie responded
Okay, don't do that either. Okay, I don't know about this.
with a plethora of threats, one of which was that he would shoot Frank on sight if he ever dared to show his face
What? You're just gonna shoot people now? Oh, dear Jesus.
anywhere near his house. His heated reaction to that subject matter only motivated Frank to actually fulfill his promise. On September 27, 2020, Frank posted a picture
Oh, I can't with the giant nope rope. Oh, God.
of him in Fayetteville, a town in which Boogie lived. By the looks of it, it appeared that Frank was serious when he said that he would meet Boogie in person. This tweet caused
He almost looks like Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, here we go with Keemstar again.
such a shit show that Boogie would go on drama alerts to have another encounter with Frank, in which he threatened even more to take his life.
Do you understand that this is what you do to people? Do you understand that this is what you're doing to me? You pick somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder to
What do you have PTSD from, though, Boogie? Like, I would think your childhood, yes, but what else?
target with this type of wrestling. What the fuck are you doing in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Why did you travel several states to pull this
Keem, stop.
shit? I've told you to fucking leave me alone, and I will fucking end you if you
Keem, why are you not, like, shutting this down? Oh, because it's Keemstar.
step foot on my fucking property, Frank. Why, Frank? Why? What the fuck? It's not fucking funny, Frank. It's not fucking funny. When you're laying dead on my fucking front lawn, that won't be fucking.
Okay, that was the line, Keemstar? Dear Jesus.
Okay, but Boogie,
Boogie was still unaware of how this situation worked, as all of his
Okay, sidebar for a second. Why does Keemstar's beard look like it's one of those, like, prop beards that you kind of just hook over your ears? Like, it doesn't even look real.
threats only served to encourage Frank
I hear he dyes it. I don't know. I don't watch Keemstar. I only know of him from, like, of clips I've watched of other YouTubers or whatever.
to do even more shit to upset him. All of this culminated in Frank actually arriving at Boogie's house a day later, providing us with one of the most memorable interactions ever recorded.
Open the door, you fat sack of shit!
If anybody comes to my fucking house, bro,
Come on, you fucking pussy, what's the deal?
call the cops.
There were a lot of things Boogie could have done to solve this situation. He could have refused
Call the police.
to open the door, a sensible thing since Frank is just a troll looking for attention. Unfortunately, he did open the door on that fateful day of September 28th, and what's more, he was holding a gun in his
And he's armed. Oh,
hand and
Jesus.
pointing it at Frank.
Pull the trigger.
Okay. Is this what I have to do?
You fat fucking. Oh my god. Is this real? Is this guy gonna kill me?
Yes. Unbeknownst to Boogie, by pulling this charade, he has already fulfilled all of Frank's wildest dreams, since he gave him an abnormal amount of undeserved attention, as well as getting agitated to the point where he actually came out of his house with a handgun. Frank realized that, although unarmed, he was in complete control of the situation. Seeing how enraged Boogie was, he decided to
He owns
push
this
even harder in the
situation.
hopes of making him do something stupid. Unfortunately, Boogie fell for the obvious bait, and then went on to make one of the worst decisions of his life.
I'm asking you to leave. In about 30 seconds, I'm gonna fire a warning.
Does he shoot this guy?
Fire it now. Fire the warning shot now.
Boogie shot his handgun in the air as a warning shot to scare Frank enough to leave his property, which he eventually did. Regrettably, the cost of such a stupid act would be paid solely by
Well, yes, you can't just shoot a gun into the frickin' world.
Boogie, as shooting a gun in an urban area is both dangerous and illegal. This
Thank you,
clip
yes.
of Boogie going out to shoot his gun went viral, and for some time he garnered a large amount of attention. But unfortunately, it was again for all the wrong reasons. Everyone commented on the situation and how terribly Boogie reacted to it. Again, even in this unsettling circumstance, Boogie couldn't stop himself from displaying his hatred for anyone talking bad things about him, and because of that hate,
I can't with this dude anymore.
he again made a fool of himself, this time on a live stream called Boulder Talk Radio, hosted by Matt
Here's the thing, Boogie. Stay off frickin' live streams, dude.
Jarbo. You might wonder who this particular person is, so let me tell you a little bit about him. Mundane Matt, or Matt Jarbo, was a relatively popular YouTuber back in the day, rising to prominence on YouTube during the Gamergate era with his videos that targeted SJWs in a form of criticism and or mockery. He would in fact have his own showdown with Anita Sarkeesian, in which he
Like your lights, dude.
amassed a sizable fanbase.
Mine are up on this side. You guys can't see them.
After the Gamergate saga ended, he would make various videos regarding gaming or any other issue he might come across. In other words, he was part of a commentary community. Unfortunately, the true integrity of his character would be revealed to everyone on a stream hosted by Ethan Ralph called The Kill Stream, where it was discovered that he flagged videos that were criticizing or making fun of him.
I had something to say to Mundane Matt. One, earlier you asked why would you come on, and the reason is you've been deflecting and spinning everything so far. And two,
I've been telling the truth the entire time, so
I don't think it's the truth. But the second thing is there is
I've already forgotten what this has to do with Boogie.
a way you can show your reporting history on YouTube. I'll link it in the chat. So if you didn't do it, it should have nothing in it, correct? It
No,
got
I'm
super quiet.
reading. I'm reading.
It's literally like 7 sentences, buddy.
All right, here we go. Screen share's live. Let's see it.
All right, hold on, my pants are off.
Oh Jesus Christ! All right.
Matt, what are you doing? How's it taking
watch
so
it.
long?
Look at all those tabs.
I have a lot of tabs open, but I have.
Thanks for reporting.
Matt shows his report history. Okay.
That one.
Oh, like reporting videos? I don't know. I'm lost.
Now, wait a minute.
Nothing on that. That's just
Okay,
hold on.
Dude, what?
He lied straight to our fucking face.
For an hour.
Yes, you heard that right. A man who was fighting against censorship was censoring people who had something bad to say about him. Keep in mind that he tried to keep all of this a secret until the people on the panel managed to reveal the truth. Naturally, after this scandal, Matt lost all of his viewers, basically turning his channel into a wasteland overnight. It is ironic that a YouTuber who was fighting for integrity and free speech in video games turned out to have as much integrity as a wet napkin. Surprisingly enough, Matt was still
As a vet napkin. I love this guy's accent.
making content after that scandal. This is important to us because among that content he also started streaming. Sometime after the Boogie and Frank incident, Matt would fire up a stream that was probably only watched by his mother and one of his alt accounts. Here he would make a wild claim that the Boogie and Frank incident looked staged to him, basically proposing the idea that both parties fabricated the entire event.
Everything in my gut is telling me that it was fake. Everything I know.
I could see why you would think that if you don't know it. If you're just watching the video of what's his name, Frank showing up at Boogie's house, I could see where you're going to think it's just staged.
About video production and the internet and everything else is telling me that it is fake, but I don't know. Again, I could be wrong.
Naturally, when an intellectual titan like Matt makes such a delusional statement with basically no audience since no one is watching his shitty streams, a normal person would just ignore these kinds of conspiratorial ramblings.
Yeah,
but
that's
as
true.
previously demonstrated, Boogie was on a mission to make his
But leave it to Boogie to come in on his freaking donkey.
life as difficult as possible. So he hopped on Matt's stream to give him a piece of his mind, embarrassing himself live yet again.
Of course
All right,
he
Boogie,
did.
is that you?
Yeah. Can you
Hey,
hear
what's
me?
up, man? Yeah. Listen, I don't know if you're paying attention or not. I'm talking through this
I'm going to
thing.
be very short because I've had a very long day.
Yeah, I'm just talking.
I'm gonna be very short because I've had a really long day. Long day doing what?
Through, man.
No, you need to stop propagating that this is fake.
Okay.
You need to stop considering that idea. There's a 0% chance that I'm such a worthless piece of shit that I would fake something like this. You invite me to this live stream, I click on the link to listen to it, and I have to listen to you accuse me of being such a low piece of
I am
shit that you think
asking
I would fake
questions.
something like that. You shouldn't ask questions like this. Hey, do you fuck your own mother? That's a question I could ask.
No.
Do you molest
What? Bruh.
children, Matt? That's a question I could ask.
No.
Excuse me, what? These are irrelevant and have nothing to... Oh, God. You faked that video. Do you have sex with your mother? What? Shut the fuck up, Boogie.
But I would never think so little of you.
I'm
I would
not
never
thinking
think
that
so
you
little of
did.
you. So
I'm
do not
asking-
think so little of me to think that I would fake something like that. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. You are disgusting.
This time, however, Boogie was not satisfied by just giving another rant on a public platform, so he also decided to go deeper by admitting live on stream that he wanted to kill himself a year ago in the hopes it would stop the harassment on YouTube.
Here we go again with this bullshit.
Here's the reality of what just really happened, okay? You there?
I'm here. I'm listening.
A year ago, I was ready to kill myself
A year ago, I was gonna... Bruh.
to try to change this platform because of this type of harassment
How is that gonna change the platform?
that showed up at my front door today. Because Reddit didn't give a fuck. Because Keemstar didn't give a fuck. Because no one gave a fuck about Etika. No, I mean, people talked about it, but nothing changed. YouTube didn't change. Keemstar didn't change. 4chan didn't change. Reddit didn't change. Nothing changed. Commentary community.
Why would this stuff change? I don't understand. Why?
Just ate it up and profited off of Etika's fucking death. And I was ready to fucking go. I was ready to put a bullet in my head. Actually, I was going to take pills. But I was ready to fucking end my life.
Bruh. I can't. I'm getting so angry. I'm so glad this is almost over.
In the hopes that it would make a fucking difference.
Did you see that comment up there? Suicide baiting. Yes, that is exactly what he is doing.
Because as bad as it was that Etika died, he wasn't as big of a creator. I had more subscribers, I had more views, and I've been on the platform longer. And so I thought I could signal boost Etika. And these are the thoughts I had. And I went to VidCon and I talked to everyone about it. Everyone that would listen.
He was most likely referring to this video called Why I Almost Took My Own Life in 2019 and Why I Didn't, Setting It Straight, where he talked about his difficulties after divorce and gastric bypass surgery. This disastrous stream had no effect on Matt since his career on YouTube was practically over.
And if it's not going to have any effect when you just keep talking about it. Like...
And later on, he also deleted all of his videos except for one called Allow Me to Introduce Myself, which received mostly negative feedback, meaning that his channel was left in the deepest, darkest parts of the warp where it fucking belongs. However, Boogie still had some remnants of a following, so he would suffer the brunt of the assault caused by his appearance on that unfortunate stream. His shenanigans with the big iron on his hip would actually land him in a jail for a day, and after a year of legal issues, he now also had a felony charge to his name, which means that Boogie was now officially a criminal. You can only...
This is why you don't just frickin' feed the trolls. You call the police. You don't open your door to people. Fuck.
Imagine how all of this had an effect on his mental state, which was not that great to begin with. With no one to turn to, Boogie started to make more rambling videos where he talked about how bad he was doing, hoping to gain the much needed support from his audience. Unfortunately, such content isn't something people want to watch, because for most of them, YouTube isn't...
Well, and at what point does your audience turn around and look at you like, bro, this is your fault? Like...
escape from their own depressing reality, not a place where they can get more of the same. Boogie tried to fix this by showcasing his new attempts at weight loss, but by this point people had become very uninterested in his weight, meaning he still couldn't reclaim some...
Again with that, you've been on this path for so long, going up and down, excuse after excuse after excuse. Nobody cares anymore.
Of the past fame. At the start of 2021, Boogie made a very strange video called I'm Finally Rich, How Crypto Made Me Rich. It was something completely out of left field, and no one was sure what Boogie was trying to do with this. By the title alone, you could already guess what the video is about. He started by saying that money was no...
Okay, so he put money into Bitcoin, crypto.
longer a problem for him, because he invested all of the money he had into crypto, which quadrupled it.
Did I hear that right? He put all of his money into crypto? All of it?
About the attention, it's not about the views. And these days, it's especially not about the money, and let me explain why. You remember back in 2019 when I was completely out of my mind and talking
fuck yes.
openly on Twitter and elsewhere about just deleting myself at some point?
Dude. Deep breath.
I did something very stupid that I do not recommend anyone else ever do. But it worked. I basically took every dime I had in liquid funds and invested it in a huge gamble. And I did this.
Every dime I have in liquid funds, and I put it in a huge gamble. What?
This is the advice of my friend Jesse Ridgway, McJuggernuggets, who guaranteed that money, saying that if the money disappeared, he would help take care of me and help me rebuild. First off, let me say that I'm not a financial advisor. I do not recommend that you do what I did. It was a very stupid
Is this McJugger dude a financial advisor that you freaking took him at his word?
Stupid risky maneuver, but I invested pretty much everything I had into cryptocurrency, and I pulled it out a couple of times and I put it back in a couple of times, so I probably didn't do as well as I could have, but I invested all the way back here, and yeah, that's where we currently are with that market. So to say that I doubled my money is an understatement. In fact, I did more than that.
Everyone watching this was puzzled as to what was Boogie trying to say with this, but it is important to keep this video in mind as we will need it later. Around this time, Boogie's channel fell on even harder times, with an average video viewership that could only be described as abysmal. His 4 million subscriber channel had an average of 50,000 views even before the incident with Frank, but like I said before, sometimes he would post a video that would do really well, like the one where he was going with his YouTuber friend McJuggernuggets to his hometown, showcasing landmarks and talking about his childhood. The premise of this video is very good, with Boogie showing the actual buildings he was referring to in his old videos. Even here, people were doubting his credibility, because
why does this look like an abandoned town?
in the next video, in which he was exploring his abandoned childhood home, everything seemed fabricated. What I mean by that is the setup for exploring this house was almost too perfect. Because the moment they entered the house, his mother's teaching degree was sitting on the floor for everyone to see. They also found one of his brother's articles, but the most incredible find was a pristine picture of him, his brother, and his mother that had been...
Okay, well, it is in this, like, sleeve, so I mean, that does save it from the elements a bit.
Exposed to the elements for decades, but was still in perfect condition. He also tried getting views by recreating some of his most famous videos from the past, like Dramatic Fat Guy Splash 2021, but comparing the two videos, it was easy.
39 million views 11 years ago, and 128K. Whoa, dude.
To conclude that his success was minimal. Whatever the case may be, it was almost unbelievable that Boogie was still making videos despite his low analytics, and he still makes them to this very day. The main difference now is that he has lost ties with a number of other YouTubers, including his friend McJuggernuggets and most notably Ethan Klein from H3H3 Podcast over a tweet he sent while Ethan was in the hospital. As we reach the current day, it seems like Boogie's performance...
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. If it's not in here, Ethan gets sick or something, and Boogie tweets, I know a lot of people don't like this guy, because Ethan's in the hospital. I know a lot of people don't like this guy, but I hope he gets better. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
on YouTube isn't getting any better. If anything, things have only gotten worse for him when he posted the infamous video called I Need Your Help, which was released on October 5th. The premise is as follows. Boogie admitted that all of his cryptocurrency investments had crashed at some point, meaning
he put everything into crypto and then it crashes. Oh my gosh.
He had lost everything. At first it seemed like Boogie was trying to tell his story, but the main purpose of the video was soon revealed when he started to beg his viewers for
Don't tell me. Please don't say it.
donations and or t-shirt purchases.
Well, this is a video I dreaded making.
This dingus put everything into crypto and loses it all, and then puts out a video asking for donations. Dude, work, put out more content, go get a job, do something. You did this to yourself.
But it's time, so I'm asking for your help as we head into the holiday season.
And you get people in the holidays. Oh, God.
I'm not making any excuses here. You know,
but you are.
I spent a tremendous amount of money on dumb things.
You do.
But the biggest issue is that I had a nice big nest egg. I took some financial advice from a friend, and I'm not pointing fingers necessarily.
I'm not pointing fingers necessarily. That sounds like you're pointing fingers.
I took the advice, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything.
I would be sobbing my eyes out. I would be like crawling within myself if I lost. I don't have anything as it is, but if I was up to like what, 40K for all of that to just be gone. Fuck.
That sucks. That really sucks. So that's why I'm asking for your help today, and it's as simple as two groups of people here I want to talk to. The first of which is fans who just like the content. If you click on videos you like and you watch them to the end and you drop a like and you leave
You have to put out videos more consistently though, Boogie, I would think.
a comment, you share it with friends, and you click the notifications, you do the YouTube stuff, you're doing plenty. If that's all you want to do, if that's all you can do, I love you to death. You mean everything to me, right? There's a second group of people who might find themselves able to do a little more, and if you're one of those people, I'm asking for your help today too. Do you like the t-shirts I have? This one's not in the merch lane shop yet, but there's several, and I'm making new designs all the time.
Videos to
And if you
YouTube.
like a
At this
t-shirt,
point, since I'm making no money whatsoever on DSP Gaming, and I'm
There are a lot of words
Oh my gosh.
through my head while watching this video. Sad, pathetic, shameless, but one word on which we can all agree would be embarrassing. The fact
Stupid, yeah.
that Boogie actually posted something like this on his channel is unconscionable. The reaction was as you might expect, with Boogie gaining even more negative attention in the form of literally
Charlie made a video, so you done fucked up, buddy.
everyone on the internet lashing out on him, especially given that not even a year before he boasted about how crypto made him rich. By making this video, Boogie crossed another milestone on his way to the bottom, since now even e-begging is on the table. The comments on the said video were no better, so I'll just read some of them to show you how awkward this situation was. Here is a man who was awarded for his hunger and work as an entertainer, which raised his financial rank so much that he forgot what a growling stomach sounded like. Now, after years of leisure and complacency,
I don't know if Boogie's actually known what a growling stomach is. It sounds like he just always manages to fix the growl.
he becomes reacquainted with the growl and turns to those who experience constant growling to help him make it stop. Most people with depression, anxiety, and financial issues have to deal with life. It's time you do too, Boogie.
Yes, exactly.
That was a really good one. I wake up every morning and thank the universe I'm not Boogie2988.
I'm going to also.
The last one, I think, hits the nail on the head. I was going to express my disgust with manipulative internet celebrities and their toxic relationships with their fan bases, but I think the comment section already has that covered. Just please, don't donate money to this guy. He'll be fine. If you wish to donate, give that money to an actual charity. There's millions of people in immensely worse positions than Boogie is right now.
There are so many people that have nothing, and they are trying so hard to get jobs and can't for whatever reason. And you have this guy who has like 4 million subscribers at this time, and he can't just do the YouTube stuff. Fucking make videos, post content, do what you have to do, my friend. Not friend.
It's pretty much what his audience thinks of him, and if you want to see how much other members of the YouTube community think of him, all you have to do is watch one of the millions of responses to this video, all of which mock Boogie to oblivion for his absurd life choices and flawed reasoning.
Doesn't
Boogie
surprise
did,
me.
in fact, make a follow-up video to this one, in which he expressed his gratitude to his audience for their overwhelming support during his time of need. Ironically, this video was recorded in his room, and for a man with a horrible financial situation, he sure as shit has a lot of collectibles and other equipment in his background. This picture...
Yeah, why aren't we selling some of this? Like, I get as we get older, we buy stuff that takes us back to our childhood, or we really like stuff. Like, for me, I love books so much. But with my health and how much work I've missed because of it, I've had to sell books. And it hurts. But at the same time, I have lights to keep on, and I have to keep food in my house. That is, I can't eat, oh, I suppose I could eat my books, but Jesus, sell some of this shit.
Picture is a perfect summary of where Boogie's priorities really are.
I want to say that I am utterly and completely humbled by this, because when I uploaded that video,
Are you? Are you?
I expected nothing but negativity, specifically because I left out a lot of reasons that I was having money problems. I left out the fact that I spent $27,000 in legal fees. I left out the fact that it's hard for me to keep a sponsor because there's people who hate me and write my sponsors until they drop me.
Boogie did earn more than $1,000 on his e-begging video, but at the price of his already diminishing.
I lied to you guys. I kept out information. Why did people give you money? Ugh, you make me angry.
Reputation. He also addressed some of the comments that were left for him.
Now, this commenter left a comment that the majority of people left, which basically boils down to I have no sympathy.
I just don't have sympathy for people like this anymore. I'm sorry. We all struggle daily, but we get up each day and go to work for ourselves and our family. I don't ask for handouts. I hate mornings and waking up to go to work, but I'm 100% satisfied with taking care of myself and family. Get a real job and stop asking YouTube people for help. Yes.
For you need to get out there and work just the way that I am. And I got a lot to say about that. First off, he's not wrong. The majority of people need to work for a living in a 9-to-5 job. And I might very well be one of those people. And I've started looking. This deck is stacked against me a little bit, though, because keep in mind, I've been disabled since 2008. I don't have a working back. I can barely stand up. I can barely move. That's why I have to be in the pool.
Okay. You can't stand. You have to sit. And you're disabled. What's your disability?
For exercise. That's why boxing was probably only a pipe dream, but it's something I work towards anyway and will continue to work towards. On top of that, I'm mentally ill.
I'm mentally ill. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have ADHD. I get up and I go to work. I also have physical freaking shit that I have. It didn't stop me. Well, it did in some points, but I still freaking worked when I could. I still fight to work every day. These are called excuses. And you make people that have disabilities or mental illnesses or whatever, you make us look bad. Because you just can't accept your shit. We're not all like you. You don't want to do better. It feels. Oh, I'm so angry now. Holy shit.
I also have no work history, pretty much ever the last.
This is work history, my friend. I've worked for myself, creating content. That's a work history, dude.
Job I actually had was back in 2007, and the woman who hired me for a small business has been dead since 2008.
So?
On top of that, I'm also a felon.
Okay, that one I don't have anything to say.
So I need to find somebody who hire a mentally ill, disabled felon with no work.
Let me rephrase this for Boogie, because he seemed to add a few things in there that were unnecessary. He needs to find something that's hiring a felon. It's that easy.
Work history and no degree. I'm sure that job's out there.
Let me translate what Boogie just said. Hey guys, in the decades since I started YouTube, I have made no real effort to better myself. If anything, my bad habits have gotten the worst out of me, and in the end, I am in an even worse position than before. So why are you stupid fucks
Exactly.
recommending I get a real job when clearly I have made myself unemployable? He also tried to explain his side of the story and make excuses for his shameless e-begging video, citing that many other creators ask for support and it is never a problem when they do it.
First, let me say that every YouTuber I watch has channel memberships turned on or Patreon, and they remind you occasionally to go check them out, right?
That's doing the YouTube things. Like, hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video. If you want to see more, leave a comment below. If you want to know when I post videos, turn that bell on. We're a small channel here, but you know what? We're doing our best. That's the YouTube things there, Boogie. Jesus Christ.
Every live streamer I watch allows people to donate directly to them, right? Every content creator I watch reminds you to drop a like on the video or the live stream, to hit follow, to hit subscribe, to share it with people you love. So what is it that I did differently that makes people angrier or more?
You told us you put everything you had into crypto. That crypto then crashed, and now you have absolutely nothing. So give me money. That's what you did.
Critical. Well, Boogie, I will tell you exactly what you did differently. There is a significant difference between a YouTuber who reminds his audience about his Patreon or membership in a video that has actual content in it, and a YouTuber who creates a video solely to emotionally manipulate their audience into financially supporting their own poor financial decisions.
Bingo.
Let's make a real-life example. If a person you knew went to a casino and lost his entire wage in one afternoon, would it be reasonable for him to go out and ask for money from strangers? But it doesn't stop here. Boogie's hatred for other creators who reacted to his video was hard to hide, whether it be on Twitter or...
Hey guys, I've decided to take the internet advice and get a real job. Oh, good. Any company out there want to hire a felon who is disabled, who can't do physical labor and is mentally ill, with no degree and no work history for 20 years, who has an insanely bad reputation online? I'm going to tell you this right now, dude. I have a desk job, right? I work full time. I'm not disabled, but I have a health issue that very well is debilitating when it flares up. I don't have to do physical labor. I'm also mentally ill, and I can do my job. I have a degree, but it's not for what I do. And you do have a work history, my friend. It's called the friggin' internet. And if you would get off of the internet, you wouldn't have this insanely bad reputation online.
On his YouTube channel. On one particular video called How YouTube Promotes Abuse, he gave yet another rant on how he was dissatisfied with his platform and how people on it were treating him.
YouTube profits when I dare speak out against it, and YouTube profits when a large creator dunks on me for talking about it.
they make millions. If you know me as a creator, as a friend, as a fan, you'll know it's so beyond reality, it's laughable. Boogie's never actually...
But if they're saying what's true. They're spitting straight facts.
been mentally ill. Boogie could lose the weight if he wants to. Boogie is abusive to women. Boogie posts to TikTok to fuck children.
I mean, Boogie could lose the weight if he wants to. Yes, Boogie, that's true.
You've heard this shit. Content creators have posted this shit over and over again on this platform. YouTube has profited from it, and when I speak out against it, large creators punch down to make fun of me for taking the fucking bait.
This video also contains the absolutely astonishing claim that the reason why people hate DSP, Wings of Redemption, and him is primarily because they are fat and autistic.
And there's a whole group of people...
Yes, there's this thing in the world where people have something against overweight people. Whatever. But what? That's the stupidest excuse.
They call lol cows that YouTube makes money off of their harassment of, right? Wings of Redemption, Dark Side Phil. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. It's funny what those guys have in common, huh? Fat and autistic. The internet didn't change that much.
He again showed that he still gave criticism more attention than was necessary, and in the process did not acknowledge his own shortcomings. By this point in time, shame was long gone from Boogie2988's channel.
It's called just stop responding to it, though. Like, you can't be a lol cow if you stop feeding into it. You can't be milked for something if you just shut the French doors.
So he figured he might as well announce the creation of his OnlyFans account, meaning Boogie doesn't care what he brings to this god.
Wouldn't it be funny if I became a top No.
Forsaken land, as long as he...
I mean, Nick Ocado was on OnlyFans, so...
He can make a quick buck.
Okay, so if you're a super fan, you made it this far in the video, I'm going to pitch an idea for you, okay? I don't know what you're going to think, and your opinion probably won't change my plan to do this, but I do want to hear your opinion, okay? So I have a...
What? What is this priming?
Applied to get an OnlyFans account, and people think I'm going to post, like, pictures of my butthole and that kind of thing, and look, I'm not above doing that.
So then what's the... Okay, I'm not saying that I would need to see any boogie butthole, but... Why? Why?
If it was going to make me a tremendous amount of money, I would gladly do that. But what I do want to do...
It probably would, because you know how many people would go over and friggin' pay for it out of the sheer curiosity? Like, why don't you capitalize on some of this shit?
...doing there is upload just daily shots of what I'm doing, pictures of the dog. Yeah, I'll probably upload shirtless TikToks and...
Dude, you could just be uploading to your YouTube channel.
Shirtless boudoir photos if that's entertaining to people. As it is right now, all I want to do is goofy, shirtless nonsense. But if the money was there, never say never.
It looks like Boogie's delusional state made him believe that he might succeed in the sex industry, while in reality he soon won't be working in any industry with the way he has conducted himself. Something that could be easily concluded when you take a quick glance at the current state of his YouTube channel, showing just how much overboard it has become. Because his average viewership dropped from 50,000 to 30,000, which is a very depressing fact.
Yeah, see, okay, 6 days, 9 days. If you're gonna, like, okay, what you should do... 8 minutes, 5 minutes. Post freaking longer videos consecutively. Post every day. You don't have okay, I don't post every day because I have a full-time job. So I sit down and I make videos when I, 1, have time, 2, am not freaking exhausted. You sit at home all day, my dude. Freaking make videos.
When you consider his 4 million subscriber channel. But even that 4 million will eventually drop to 3 because Boogie has been losing subscribers since 2019 when he had 4.6 million. The flesh of a rotting carcass that is his channel now only serves to feed many detractor channels, some of which quickly gained a sizable following by simply reacting to and mocking Boogie's content. To show you just how
here we are today.
much he is disliked on this platform now,
Never
on November
rare,
16th,
okay.
Boogie made a video where he revealed that he has a rare form of blood cancer which could potentially kill him in 20 years from now.
Turns out I got a rare blood...
Polycythemia vera is a type of blood cancer. It causes your bone marrow to make too many red blood cells. These excess cells thicken your blood, slowing its flow, which may cause serious problems such as blood clots. Polycythemia vera is rare. It usually develops slowly, and you might have it for years without knowing. Often the condition is found during a blood test done for another reason. Without treatment, polycythemia vera can be life-threatening, but proper medical care can help ease signs, symptoms, and complications of this disease. Okay.
Blood cancer called polycythemia vera, which basically makes your body produce too many red blood cells. And when I started taking that testosterone supplement 7 or 8 years ago, however long it's been, we knew that this was a possibility. You never think you're going to be the guy who gets that side effect though, right?
Even such tragic news did not deter his detractors, the majority of whom believe Boogie is lying about his diagnosis in order to gain attention and views.
I wouldn't say I don't believe it, but I want to know what the angle is.
Boogie again responded to these.
Me discussing this cancer has brought out some of the most disgusting comments I have ever seen on my time online. I've seen, yeah, okay. I cannot believe I ever once wanted to please these people. They are human garbage. Genuinely, get help. Some of y'all need it bad. Boogie, you need the help.
Twitter, this time claiming that he will flake creators who talk about that slander and even potentially sue them. It seems like Boogie lost all of the influence he had before, since now he is ridiculed for anything he does on this platform, while in the meantime, his channel is dying from the death of 1,000 cuts. It is regretful that this trend shows no signs of stopping.
Yeah, he's bleeding out. Well, not literally, it's too thick.
Which leaves Boogie in a very uncomfortable position.
Oh, conclusion. Guys, we did it. We made it.
Making a video like this wasn't easy. Boogie was a big part of my life in the past, and many of his old videos still hold a great value to me. However, pretending that nothing is wrong would be denying reality, something which Boogie appears to do all the time these days. His reputation has drastically shifted from that of Mr. Rogers of YouTube to that of a
yeah, he's
DSP clone in recent years, but everyone who makes that comparison forgets the main difference between these two creators. The biggest tragedy of DSP is what he could have been, while the tragedy of Boogie is what he was. A gentle...
Yeah, I think it seems like Boogie got divorced and had surgery, got divorced, and then friggin' went wackadoodle.
Giant who shared stories about his traumatic past while trying to give his audience advice on how to improve their own lives. That old Boogie eventually turned into a man-child who then lost his fans by converting his channel into a therapy session, having awful reactions to criticism, and scolding people.
You know, you could actually go to a therapist instead of turning your channel into a therapy session.
For failing to live up to standards that he himself could not meet. Unfortunately for him, the good days are gone and there is no going back. From our point of view, it seems like the only way Boogie could truly be
and stay off live streams
happy is if he left the internet for good. But the problem with that is, if he ever does that, there will be nothing left. Boogie has become its prisoner. His channel is the
every once in a while when he says Boogie, it sounds like Booby, and then okay.
source of both his happiness and his sorrow. He knows that without YouTube, he has nothing, and that is truly depressing to say. The future is grim, and it is regrettable that Boogie must face it alone. Time can only tell if he will find the peace he so desperately craves.
Oh, gosh. Okay, guys, we freaking did it. Holy hell. Well, that's Boogie2988. That's Boogie2988. Shit. What a ride, man. I think, if I remember correctly, there is a video. Mike Klum did a documentary on Boogie. That one's not as long, but I'm kind of curious to watch that one. Not right now. I need a Boogie break. But if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, do the YouTubey things. As always, tell your mom I says hi. And peace out, Girl Scouts.